behind Red Front and Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Stores.
Is a very tough opponent.
D&H Plumbing, Pro Build, A Supply, Octopus Car Wash, and Sholo Ford Drive.
Very fast defensively. They're running back. The best in the states.
And now, Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7.
Very talented,
and worldwide on iTalk 106.7.com.
I coached with. Really one of my best friends. Their defensive coordinator gave me my first job, Roger Suckamel, and so, man, I would love to beat their butt. But what a good team they are, and what a challenge it will be for our guys.
Coach, give me
good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sholo High School. Camden Smith, Mike Side with Mike Granillo.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure tonight. We're testing out the new place here. We'll figure out why I have audio coming back to us, but we'll try to figure that out here in a second. Okay, it's coming back from the radio station. So, Ashley, if you could turn the audio off on tie line 1. Don't send us the audio.
Just have it in program, and that's all. Catch up with Coach Tinney. Thanks for meeting with us, Coach. As always,
it's the Sholo Cougars hosting tonight. The Bulldogs of Queen Creek, and the Bulldogs making the trip up here to Sholo, and they are a team to reckon with. They are 2-0 on this season, and they have beaten both of their opponents by big numbers, 35-0 last week. A big win in their opening game. They've yet to allow a defensive touchdown, Mike.
You know, Camden, it's been a long time coming for these Queen Creek Bulldogs, and a lot of these teams that the Sholo Cougars have played this year, you know, they're used to taking a beating from the Cougars, and these pro
kind of using that as motivation perhaps in this early season, in this non-region season, in order to get their teams fired up. And these Queen Creek Bulldogs, they look ready to go. As you mentioned, their play coming into this game has been really good, and it's going to be a tough one for the Sholo Cougars tonight.
Our iTalk team got a chance to talk to Ron Tenney of Snowflake High School. He's got a big game over there tonight against Queen Creek. We'll have that coming up next here on our countdown to kickoff. It's the Sholo Cougars and the Queen Creek Bulldogs live on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. We'll be back after this.
This is my town.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
.7 with a chance to catch up with Coach Tinney. Thanks for meeting with us, Coach, as always. Coach, let's first of all talk a little bit about your team captains, some of your team leadership on your team this year. You're 2-0, off to a great start. Can you just talk a little bit about the kind of leadership that you have on your team right now?
You bet. We've got a great class this year, a good group of seniors. Our captains this year, Porter Black and Alex Solomon, and these two guys kind of just epitomize, this group of seniors. Just great individuals, number one, great families that they come from, and hard work, good attitudes. All these things kind of describe these young men, and very coachable, work hard day in, day out, and never complain. And you just really appreciate that as a coach, getting that kind of leadership from your young men, especially from a group of seniors like this year.
We had a chance to catch up with Alec and Porter and take a listen to what they had to say. Thanks for taking just a little bit of time with us. You guys are both the captains of the Snowflake, the undefeated Snowflake Lobos. Why don't you go ahead and just speak to a little bit, Alec, if you can. What are some of your team strengths as you look over the team that you captain?
I think that it's good to have we have a lot of returning starters on the offensive line this year, and that's helped us in our past few games. We do good controlling on the O-line, pushing around the D-linemen, and that's good. We have a lot of returning starters from last year that played as juniors.
Okay, Porter, when you look at some of your weaknesses and maybe some of the things that you've practiced on this week, you guys are undefeated right now, as we mentioned. What are some things that you guys have been working on to get better as you move forward in the season?
Just mostly communication on defense, so we know what we're doing at all times. So we don't give up the big plays, and on offense, just our blocking schemes, make sure we can get all the blocks so we can bust off that big play if we need it.
Okay, awesome. And you've played varsity in previous years. How is this team different than some of the other teams, Snowflake teams, that you've been on?
In the past years, I don't think we're as much as a team. This year we come together as a team really well, and I think it's the leadership of our senior class. We've stayed together as a class playing through school years. We started in 5th grade, and we've just been a strong class, and that's really helped. And we have at least 7 or 8 good leaders on the field at all times, so it helps a lot.
Alec, take us inside your locker room. I'll just ask kind of an off-the-cuff question. Who's the funniest guy on your team?
Funniest guy, I'd have to probably say Travis Flake. He's always joking around. He's a funny guy.
And do you have, when you think about your team, do you have is this an easygoing team? Are you guys all business when you come in? What kind of, atmosphere is it around the locker room?
I think when it's time to get down to business, we are good. We're serious. We do what we have to do, but we have fun too. We always have a lot of fun.
Okay, thanks, guys. Coach, let's talk a little bit about last week's game. It looked like going into the fourth quarter, you were down 21-12, if I see that right, and 16 points in the fourth quarter. For those of us who weren't here, can you just walk us through what happened in that fourth quarter?
Well, I think we finally were able to put some things together offensively. We'd been moving the ball pretty much all game long, and finally in the fourth quarter, we were able to put a drive together, got our 2-point conversion, and so that put it 21-20, and I think with a little over 3 minutes to go in the game. So still being down, our defense is out on the field, and Estrella really has a great team this year. They've got some good skill players, and they're big up front, and they do some really good things. And so it was a challenge for our guys. We battled through a lot of adversity that night. We were battling the heat. We had a few kids get hurt, and so everyone really had to come together last week. And as they were driving, one of our kids hit their quarterback. He fumbled, and it happened to just take a nice candy hop right into Kurt Wood's breadbasket, and then he scooted 30, 35 yards, something like that, into the end zone for a touchdown, and then we got the 2-point conversion. That put us up 28-21 with still quite a bit of time left to go. And so they drive down, we get a penalty and different things, so they end up on our 25-yard line with just over a minute to go when their quarterback threw it up, and Porter Black, one of our captains again, come through with a great play and intercepted the ball, ran it down, clear back into their territory, and that pretty much kind of sealed the deal for the Lobos last week. So it was an intense game, a very good test for us again, as we'll see again this week with Seton Catholic.
So watching it from a distance or keeping up with the scores, one of the things that came to my mind was, is this team any different physically or mentally on a toughness level than teams you've had in the past?
Probably, strength-wise, size-wise, we might actually be a little smaller in some positions than we were last year. But mental toughness, I don't know that, you can beat this team. They're pretty tough mentally, and they seem to just quietly go about their business and not let things get them too down, sometimes they get discouraged, but they've seemed to fight through that and keep working hard, and good things seem to happen when you put those together. So, good bunch.
This week, Seton Catholic Sentinels are coming into town, 2 undefeated teams. We also have another Mountain team versus Valley team matchup down in Show Low. But can you speak a little bit to what Seton Catholic is going to pose for you guys coming into your field? And also, what have you guys been practicing on this week?
Well, for those folks that come out and watch the game tonight with us in Seton, they're going to see a football team that likes to spread the field. They run a no-huddle offense. They throw the ball around a lot, and then they've got a little running back. He was their leading rusher last year, back again this year, and he's pretty tremendous. He's hard to tackle. He makes quick cuts, and so they use him to kind of diversify their offense, and so far no one's been able to stop him. And so it's going to be a great challenge for us. So we've been this week kind of repping our pass defense and trying to work with speeding things up, because with their no huddle, we're going to have to get calls in quick and not be able to adjust a whole lot. And so keeping it very base, very vanilla, so that we can make adjustments as needed. And so you're going to see quite a team tonight. They're big up front, both offensive and defensive lines. And so we feel like we're going to have our hands full, but once again, it's a good test for us and helps us grow as a team.
Well, Coach, good luck tonight. We hope to see a Lobo win, and thanks for taking time with us, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks.
That's it for Snowflake. This is Ron Everingham with iTalk 106.7.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Show Low.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Daddy, I'm gonna find you.
Mike Granillo here, and we are down in the Blue Ridge locker room getting a chance to talk with Coach Belshie of the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. And, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
And we know, Coach, things haven't gotten off to a great start for you, 0-3. What are the positives, though, you take from those first 3 weeks?
I'm positive. I mean, we're learning the offense. We're learning defense. Kids they're not quitting. They're playing hard through, even when we're down, they're still playing hard. They're giving a good effort. And so that's what I mean. When we're down like that, that's what I ask for, is a great effort. And if we get a great effort, things are going to start going our way.
Coach, last week, obviously a tough one, losing at home to Winslow, 25-6. Definitely had some opportunities. What do you think was the tipping point in that one?
I think the big play, the big punt return, kind of took the wind out of our sails. I think they put the ball on the ground 7 times, and we only recovered 1. And so that I thought the turnover battle that I watched their film. They looked susceptible to turning the ball over, but we just didn't take advantage of that. And we had the ball on their 45 on our second possession and didn't get points out of it. So not taking advantage of their mistakes where they took advantage of ours, that was a big turn.
Coach, it seemed like you guys were fairly committed to the run in the first half, and obviously you're down a little bit, so maybe you got to go to the air in the second half. Is that kind of your philosophy? Would you rather run it, rather pass it, or be balanced?
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd throw it 70 times a game. I like to air the ball out. But no, we always look at see where the advantage for us is going to be, and so we felt like we had that we were going to be able to run the ball well. We lost a couple of linemen, And so they had a great middle linebacker. And so we thought, well, let's see what we can do through the air in the second half. And when we lost those 2 linemen, we didn't feel like we had a strong run game anymore. So we thought we could pass the ball.
Yeah, Coach, we've been talking about Akeem Foster up here for years now, and he is a great player. Coach, even though you're 0-3, you still had some guys play very consistently and play very well for you. Who are some of those guys that you've kind of looked for some of that consistency?
I always look to seniors for leadership, but the guy that's played the most consistent for us all year long, both offensively and defensively, has been Rosario Munoz. He's a great leader. The kids respect him. They look up to him for leadership, and he's really, in the last 2 weeks, really come forth as a leader for us.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with Rosario Munoz also here for the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, and let's hear what he had to say on how things are going so far this season. Rosario, we're gonna talk a little bit. We haven't had a chance to talk with you this year, but you guys have 3 games in. What's your impression been of the season? How's it gone for you?
I mean, it's not really what I expected, but it all comes to the end. We just got to keep on working harder, and sometimes things don't turn out the way we want them to.
Yeah, 3 losses in your first 3 games, tough ones, some tough teams, some good teams. What are you guys working on, Rosario, especially maybe on the offensive and defensive lines, to get better?
I mean, what we really need to work on the most, besides we're off in our technique and a little bit here and there, we need to work more on teamwork, team effort. When something goes wrong, we need to work more together.
Rosario, and you're a senior this year, correct? And what do you hope the end result is here for your senior year?
Well, as every senior from every high school, well, especially for us, I wish to end with the championship, but if it doesn't come to us, then I'm just going to go out there with my boys and my brothers and know that we gave it all and we got as far as we can.
All right. Thank you very much to Rosario. And, Coach, let's turn our attention to this week. You face Chinle and perhaps a chance to get things going in the right direction.
Yeah, Chinle, they're a tough team. They played St. John's 27-7 last week. So they're having a good year. They're a bigger school. They have a really good quarterback, and they're very big up front. They're very physical. We have great team speed, and so I think we can take advantage of some of the things that they do defensively that is going to be in our favor. And I think we're going to come in and treat it just like any other game. When you're 0-3, you're looking for that first win, and so we worked really hard this week, put in a lot of hours, a lot of film session, trying to correct those young, the young player mistakes that you're going to go through with playing, 17 sophomores, and so, this is just like week 1 for us. We got to put the other 3 games behind us. We still got to make a run for the playoffs, but Chinle's they're a good opponent, but we're excited to go play. We're excited to play. The kids are up. We're ready to play. Ready to go win.
Coach, practice this week, you obviously talked about that they want to go play, they want to win. Have you been doing anything else different or noticed any change in the atmosphere at practice this week?
We're missing a couple of guys this week, and so some of the younger players have had to, they've gotten, it's actually kind of worked for us because we're having to play those young players, and we've played them before. They've got more reps, and so there's been a good energy. We're still staying the course. We're going to play hard. But not a whole lot of difference in attitude. We're going out and we're going to play. We're prepared the same every week.
Coach, on a kind of a different note, people around the games and seeing the players walking in and out before and after the games, we've noticed that some of the players have a stick, a piece of wood that says "Bring the wood." Talk a little bit about what that is.
Okay, it's kind of a thing I stole from another coach. Any good coach steals from another coach, and so, but it's a coach that I know down in Texas, and he's from Montwood High School. And their theme every year is Bring the Wood, and I really liked it. I liked the intensity that he brought to the game and the mentality they gave the players. And so the Bring the Wood it's not just about the games. It's about practice. It's about the weight room. It's about the classroom, being out in the community. We're going to bring the wood, meaning that we're going to give a perfect effort in everything that we do. And a lot of people talk about laying the wood, and we made a big hit. And so we want to go with the mentality that we're going to bring the wood, we're going to lay the wood every single play, every rep, every class, every service project, everything that we do is bring the wood. And then on the back of it, each kid is going to write down something that they're going to bring themselves to help benefit the team. And so it's just a reminder to them right before we play hey, this is what we're about.
All right, thanks, Coach. We hope next week when we get a chance to talk to you, it'll be after a victory. That's right. And hopefully things will go well for you. I want to thank Coach Jake Belshie for joining us here on iTalk 106.7 and on the web at iTalk1067.com. And when we come back, more of our pregame show.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you
when you guys are live.
Hey, this is what we're about.
All right, thanks, Coach. We hope next week when we get a chance to talk to you, it'll be after.
And it's an ice bucket challenge happening down on the field. And I don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. Maybe we should go down to,
Well, I don't know anything about it locally, but it's a nationwide thing.
Sure.
Athletes, celebrities, everybody, ALS put it out. Great idea because they're raising all kinds of money, but they're trying to get, basically quote-unquote celebrities to raise funds, raise donations in order for the person involved to get have a bucket of ice water dumped over their head.
Let's see if maybe Brandon can find out who and what. Let's go downstairs and check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon.
Well, Camden, the only person I recognize on there is the principal of the Sholo High School, Farrell Adams, and he's about to get dumped on as we speak. There he goes. He's soaking wet, and that doesn't look fun at all. I did the challenge, Camden. What it is that you get called out by someone, and you have to get this ice bucket of ice dumped on you, and you donate $10. And if you refuse the challenge, you have to donate $100. So you remember that challenge that I challenged you to? I sent you the video, and you texted me back said, "No, we're not going to. Sure, you owe money."
No, we're not talking about that. But go, Brandon, go get me an interview with one of those guys that just got the ice dumped on him. I don't know why that guy got dumped on twice. That's
just
for
good measure. Yeah, just for good measure. That's just because you have an opportunity, you take it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We've got an interview with Coach Reisdorf.
We're ready.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, yeah, we're here with Superintendent Mr. Brackton. You just did the ice bucket challenge. First of all, how do you feel?
I need a bar of soap, and I'm good to go. Let's do it again.
Tell me a little bit how this came about, why you guys did the ice bucket challenge, and
can we get a camera?
If I'm correct, aren't you supposed to not only get the water dumped on you, but also donate as well, right?
Exactly. This is about raising money for the ALS Foundation, and we're all about that. We've got a booth set up over here, so if anybody tonight wants to donate, they certainly can, and that's what Sholo Schools is all about, is giving back to the community, helping each other out, and being there for each other. No, in all circumstances, whether you're challenged physically or mentally or emotionally or just having a good time, we're here to support everyone.
Well, you want to go get a towel and get some dry clothes on, enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, bud.
Mr. Brackney, Superintendent, Sholo Schools.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And I'll tell you what, let's do. I'm not sure if we have enough time or not to get that Reisdorf interview in or not. So we'll well, let's do this. We need to do our Ace Hardware Keys to the Game, brought to you by the Ace Hardware. And, as usual, the Ace Hardware doing a terrific job season after season supporting local high school sports. They now have a 24/7 locksmith available any day of the week, any time of the day. You can contact them whether you're locked out of your house or your home. Their mobile unit will come to you. It's the Ace Hardware of the White Mountains. And our key players of the game tonight are going to be, one of them for sure has to be Quentin Clark, who's taken over the reins from Caleb Farr, who unfortunately had to leave the team earlier this season.
Yeah, tough break. We've seen Caleb Farr waiting in the wings, being patient for his opportunity to play quarterback. Throws a good ball, but unfortunately not able to continue. I'll tell you, Quentin Clark, but the bad thing for the Cougars, Quentin Clark moving to quarterback because you don't have him to throw to. He's been a guy who started since he was a freshman, an outstanding athlete, outstanding player. But, we'll see. That means the ball will be in his hands a lot more tonight, every snap, and we'll see if he can get something going. The Sholo Cougars, a big key for them tonight is going to be that offensive production. They've got to keep the Queen Creek offense off the field, keep their defense off the field, try to get some points, shorten this game as much as possible, get some points on the board, build some confidence, and play mistake-free. I mean, that's going to be such a big key for them tonight.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who steps up for the Cougars tonight because, as you mentioned early on, Mike, this is not going to be an easy game. A lot of kids on that Cougar roster, though, that have the potential to step up tonight.
Well, yeah, we're looking for, they had a ton of seniors last year. All their skill players, basically, except for Quentin Clark, were skill players. They have a lot of linemen returning, though. One of those, though, injured tonight, Peter Escalante, 5'11", 205-pound senior, will not be playing tonight. But, you look at their heart and soul guys, and you got to look first and foremost at Willie Wyatt, a guy who plays some running back, plays linebacker, anchors that defensive secondary for the Cougars, and will be very important tonight for them, and an emotional leader. And then also Alex Orton, and both these guys just juniors. Is the Show Low Cougar team, like we've seen at Blue Ridge, the game we had last week,
awesome.
A lot of youth on these teams, and so it's going to be very important that they grow up very quickly.
I think Jerem Fawcett's a guy that's got to step up tonight as well, and you mentioned some of those other players. I think down in the trenches, though, the Jackets are going to have to control the line of scrimmage. A guy they're going to look to, Daniel Lusk, will be, who's typically their left tackle, will be a guy that they're going to look to tonight, and those linemen will play a big role in tonight's game. Those are your Ace Hardware key players of the game, brought to you by the Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, now with a 24/7 locksmith available any day, any time of the day, any day of the week. You can contact their mobile unit. They'll come to you, whether you need a key made for your car or your home. It's the Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Show Low, Pine Top, and Heber Overguard. We'll step away, back with the opening kick when we return. This is Show Low Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
This is my town. Show Low is football and party town, especially when you show up at Show Low Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Show Low Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Show Low Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Show Low Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce. Oh, this is my town.
Just turn it down. I can't see it all. It's hotter than crap.
Captains, congratulations for being chosen captain. My name is Mark Rovey. I'll be your referee. Your umpire is Joe Burke. I'll be back. Line coach is Mr.
What'd you say?
And linesman is Mr.
Ladies and gentlemen, your show
We're disconnected. I'm sure you were.
Better not call them out. We're set. Cougars getting set to battle here. The Bulldogs, as we learn a new facility here at Show Low High School.
Yes. Well, we do know the Cougars won the toss and elected to take the ball. Interesting, most teams, you kind of want your defense out there first, kind of feel your way around things a little bit. Cougars electing to have that ball first. Boy, it would be huge for the Cougars if they could put the first points on the board.
Cougars in their opening game to Williamsfield lost 31-7. Lost last week to Tempe Prep in a game that they felt they should have won. And so we will look to them to have a good game tonight. They'll have to have all cylinders firing, though, here to get this opportunity. to come away with a victory. Jordan Eckert set to kick for the Bulldogs.
Chase.
And it looks like Brewer and Garrett Means will be back to receive. They stand at their 4-yard line, or Brewer does at least. Now Means back at his 4-yard line. Actually going to stand between the 3 and the 4 as we get set for the kickoff here. Special thanks to our crew on site to bring you the sights and sounds of tonight's game, the White Mountain Youth Productions. You can watch tonight's game at italk1067.com. That's italk1067.com. It's available online, live and streaming right now. And they put boot into it, and we're underway. A line drive kick fielded by Means at the 2, out to the 15, 20, 25, straight up the hash mark on the left side, knocked down as he gets to the 33-yard line. Brandon Rush on the tackle, and Means gets a big return for the Cougars to start things off.
Tell you what, Camden, that was almost a huge play. The second wedge for the Show Low Cougars did an excellent job of picking up blocks. The problem is Means was a little far behind, and by the time he got there, the hole had closed up. A great job blocking at the point of attack for the Cougars.
Quentin Clark lines up in the gun, single receiver to the near side, and Clark looking here to the right side, rolls right, going to keep at the 30. He turns it upfield and spins away from a tackle, but will fall down at the 34 after a gain of about 2. Call it 3 on the carry, and Quentin Clark, one of those players we talked about as an Ace Hardware key player of the game.
Well, and a designed run play all the way, Cannon. They go with 2 backs in the backfield, but Fawcett just back there to lead out in front of Clark and provide some blocking on the edge.
They sent 2 receivers wide to the far side of the set this time. And the lines judge on the near side throws a flag and a whistle and a procedure call against the Show Low Cougars. So that'll negate their 3-yard carry on the opening drive and pins them back with a 12-yard gain coming up for a first down here back to their 29. Opening drive of the Cougars here tonight, and already struggling just a bit. Garrett Means and Stephen Curry wide to the left side of the set. Tight end lines up on the right side. Here's the snap to Clark. Clark took it in the gut, now turns, goes right side, tries to get around the right edge, but is going to be upended at the 30.
Well, this is some of the growing pains you have with a young team, not to mention a new quarterback. You got a different cadence. You got probably some noise. You definitely have some noise from the PA system. I don't know if that's bothering the center or not, but hard to hear, and they really got to kind of focus right now. A lot of nerves and emotions going crazy. They really need to focus. These guys are young players trying to get that experience, and already we see a change at quarterback.
Looks like Rhett Reisdorf in at quarterback. Sets up in the gun, and we get a whistle and a timeout called for the Show Low Cougars as they didn't like what they saw. So we'll keep it here with 10-14 left to play here in the first quarter. Cougars looking to pick up a 3rd down conversion here. They need one.
Well, you know, you can already see Coach Reisdorf has really changed his, I don't say really changed his offense, but certainly simplified his offense from years past. Not having that experienced quarterback really changes things. I'm sure he's got a lot of plays that he'd like to get to by the end of the year, but right now going to just kind of simplify the formations, simplify the play calling a little bit, let Quentin Clark get his legs underneath. But now we already see Rhett Reisdorf coming in, sophomore, but keeping Quentin Clark in the backfield, give you a kind of a dual threat pass and run option. Should be something that Queen Creek didn't have a chance to prepare for, and maybe they can take advantage of that.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that coming up. Coach Reisdorf talked about that a little bit as we get a scoring update.
Yes, the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets are playing over in Chinle, and they are up 19-6 right now. That game started an hour ahead of ours.
So Reisdorf in the gun will stand at his 24-yard line. A trips formation and a bunch set to the left side. Set a man in motion across the formation. That's Jared Case. Reisdorf to throw, rolling left, and he fires one that's short. Receiver had to come back for it. Pass is intended to Garrett Means, and it's incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you what, the problem for the Sholo Cougars was up front that time. Keaton Pilmal, I believe, for the Queen Creek Bulldogs, he made it through and put a lot of pressure on Reisdorf, and Reisdorf's rolling to his left. He's obviously just a sophomore, not a lot of strength there, and just couldn't get that ball all the way out to Quentin Clark.
And that was actually Jared Case, the intended receiver. Cougars going to be forced to punt now.
That means Jared Case was playing quarterback?
We'll check the roster for you here in a moment. Brandon Todd will. All right, Quentin Clark is wearing 2 tonight. So that solves that problem.
Well, and you can just see a lot of confusion on the field for the Cougars here early going. Again, I'm really surprised Coach Reisdorf decided to take the ball for their opening possession.
So Jared Case was about to have a big night. Means gets off a great punt, drives the return man back to the 35-yard line. He'll take it up to the 40, and he'll be banged down near the 45, but a terrific punt backing the return man back to his 35.
Well, Bowman in there on the tackle for the Cougars does a great job, open field tackle. We've seen the Cougars are definitely used to seeing that picket fence. Queen Creek not able to really cut down the holes that were in it, and Bowman does a great job of getting there and making a good tackle. So, but already the field position battle going in the favor of the Bulldogs.
From the Bulldog 45-yard line with 9:57 left to play here in the first quarter. No score. The Bulldogs will take over on their opening possession of the game. Fake the handoff, play action, firing down the middle with a man open, and it's incomplete. He overthrows his intended receiver that time. Skylar Bowman.
And sharp on the coverage there for the Cougars. But really, the guy who made that play defensively for the Cougars was Jamie Webb. He put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and I already messed his name, but put a lot of heat on him. Lefty throws it out there, and because he couldn't follow through, that ball sailed on him and went overthrown.
So far on the season, Dobbs has had a pretty good year. He's a pretty good-sized quarterback as well. They pitch to Barlo. He tries to cut it back inside. Falls down near the line of scrimmage at the 45-yard line. No gain.
Jason Brown there on the tackle for the Cougars. Pretty good hold, though, for Queen Creek. The footing at that time causing some problems for the running back for the Bulldogs. Brown right there to turn him back to the inside. That made his footing give way. But the Cougars doing a good job with their pursuit angles. They're already looking a lot better defensively than they were offensively.
Bryce Dobbs is 6'4", 212-pound senior quarterback for the Bulldogs. Has 20 of 28 coming into tonight's contest with 390 yards. Hand to Barlo, and Barlo trying to get around the right edge, and the Cougars are there defensively. And how about it? Sholo Cougars defense so far tonight has shown up.
Well, I'll tell you what, the defensive line did a great job of just controlling the line of scrimmage and sliding it sideways, not giving ground to these Queen Creek Bulldogs who, have them outweighed just a little bit, but they did a good job of standing up the line, not allowing them to get down the field, and the linebackers came in and did a great job. I missed who was on the tackle, but a good job. So, but don't be surprised if they go ahead and go for this one in Queen Creek.
Fourth down, they're going to go for it. Dobbs in the gun. 2 receivers set to the near side, single receiver to the right. They'll pitch to the single back in the backfield. It's Barlo. He's trying to get through traffic. Cougars have got him. Held up at the 50. He fights forward after contact, though, and gets into Cougar territory. Finally dropped at the 47. Jerem Fawcett, one of those in on the stop for the Cougars. And a penalty marker thrown back at the 40, the Bulldog 42-yard line. We get a procedure call here.
Yeah, I think they didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage
We saw the 2 receivers on this side that were lined up in the backfield. Also credit Barton over there on that tackle as well. He did a good job.
Hey, how about that? 4th down, turn it over on downs.
Well,
Cougars hold.
And see, and if you're Queen Creek and you're the favorite team, you can't do things like this because all it does is provides momentum and emotional lift for the Sholo Cougars and great field position as well.
Absolutely, and we'll see what the Cougars can do with their second drive here. Quentin Clark back in at the quarterback position. 2 receivers left, slot left side. Tight end on the right side. It's Curry and Means wide to the left. Single back in the backfield, flanking Clark to his left, I believe is Fawcett. They give it, no, it's Wyatt. They give to Wyatt. Wyatt bangs his way across the 50 with a hard run to pick up about 5 yards on 1st down.
Well, and you know, Willie Wyatt, he spent some time last year as a lineman, getting the opportunity to carry the ball now, and look for him to be that guy that gets the ball in between the tackles, gets those tough yards.
Ball spotted at the Bulldog 47. 2nd down and 4. Hand it off again. Wyatt carrying tacklers with him. He's got a 1st down to the 42-yard line. Jace Wyatt with a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Mortgage 1st down. Excuse me, Willie Wyatt. And it's a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending 1st down.
And I'm not, did we get a timeout on that or no? Officials timeout just to make sure it was a 1st down, and now they'll reset it. But also credit that right side line, doing a great job of walling down, allowing Wyatt to get to the edge, and then he uses a great individual effort to get those tough yards. Going to be fun to watch Willie Wyatt run this year. Just a junior, but got plenty of power behind him.
7.5 left to play 1st quarter. Jackets pick up a 1st down and keep this.
Cougars.
The Cougars pick up a 1st down and keep this opening or 2nd drive of the night alive. Tight end right. Fake it to Wyatt, rolling right. Clark fires, has a man, caught Fawcett. Fawcett going to be triple teamed and finally brought down. He shed the 1st tackle, then the 2nd tackle slipped off of him, but they gang tackle him on the near sideline. He's unable to get off to any running, but they give him forward progress out to the 37-yard or 36-yard line of the Bulldogs.
I give credit to Coach Reisdorf right there, doing a great job of designing a play that the pocket shifts for Clark and allowing him to get to the outside. Queen Creek brought pressure, but it wasn't enough, and it wasn't in time.
2nd and 4, 2 receivers left. Man in motion across the formation. Hand it to Willie Wyatt. Wyatt has a hole, and he squirts free and picks up some big yardage. Yards after contact for Willie Wyatt. The Bulldogs cannot take him down.
Well, I'll tell you what, just dragging Honey and Palermo, I believe, for the Bulldogs. Willie Wyatt about 7 yards, as you mentioned, Camden, after contact. Boy, just, I mean, he's kind of just telling the Cougars, just get on my back, boys. I'm gonna carry you as far as I can. So that just lifts the entire team right there. Linemen want to block better for you. Everybody's going to be a little sharper. Not to mention, the Cougars look like a whole different team here on their 2nd drive.
Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling 1st down for the Cougars. Ball at the 22-yard line. 1st and 10. Hand it to Wyatt again. Wyatt up the middle. Hit at the line of scrimmage, and finally they drive him back. I think maybe they've seen that one a few times, but he still picks up 3 or 4 yards, which isn't bad on 1st down.
Well, and I tell you, the Cougars, you notice, Camden, they've gone to the same formation every time. They put the 2 wideouts on the left far side of the field, and they motion Fawcett in, and then credit Bridges for coming in and kicking out on as pulling from his guard position, kicking out and providing that little hole for Wyatt.
Willie Wyatt, 4 carries and 29 yards so far here tonight. And you mentioned this idea of putting the team on his back and carrying him. He's putting the Bulldog team on his back for sure and carrying them. As we've seen some tough yardage out of Willie Wyatt so far. 5:21 left to play 1st quarter. Cougars changing it up here at the line of scrimmage, and we get a delay of game call here, and that was quick. And the Sholo Cougar coaching staff is asking what's going on here. And we'll be able to see it. You'll be able to rewind it if you're watching it here. You'll be able to see where they marked the ball, at what time they marked the ball. They should have 35 seconds.
40 seconds, I believe.
From the time they spot the ball, they have 40 seconds, I believe.
Is it 40? I thought it was 35.
Yeah, 40, 35. It was less than that.
Yeah,
regardless.
well, we'll check in with Brandon Todd in a moment to get some clarification on that. He tends to see things a little more clearly than we do. And a sideline warning is called on the Cougars after they came out to complain about that call, which I think they had a legitimate complaint. I don't know what clock they were watching, but well, we'll see. We'll be able to replay it online. Clark to throw on 2nd and 10. He slips a tackle, gets around the edge, gets another tackle. He's got the ball loose, though, as he fumbles it out of bounds, and it's going to go out of bounds for some extra yardage. He picks up a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending. First down for the Cougars inside the 10.
Well, I'll tell you what, Quentin Clark made a couple of great moves. The first one with the ball, he kind of made a basketball move, a pass fake. He stuck that ball off to his right, and the defender went for it, and he dipped around the outside, and then he did another dip and release move to continue. You know, he doesn't look like a fast guy, but he is very fast. Probably one of the fastest on the team, and he showed it there.
Two receivers to the right side of the set. And a first down at the 10-yard line. Fawcett carries left side. He's tripped up, knocked down for a loss back at the 11-yard line.
Well, this is where Coach Reichstorff is going to have to make an adjustment in the Cougars. That counter play to Fawcett just took a little too long. And with a big, fast team like these Queen Creek Bulldogs, you probably can't have your plays take that long. It just allows them to get too much penetration in the backfield. And there we see a loss on the play. 4 minutes and 17 seconds to go here first quarter. And Cougars really got to, it'd be great if they can get some points on the board right here.
Two receivers wide near side. Slot left, tight end right. Man out of the backfield in motion is Wyatt. Clark rolling to his right. Pump fake, steps up, he's going to run, tripped up at the 10, and he falls to the 6-yard line, where he'll be shy of the end zone. They can pick up a first down here, I believe, at the 1-inch mark. No,
the chains
we are
are down,
first and goal from the 10. Okay.
Well, and that time Clark, designed, he gets the option read, but it's a pass or a run, and you could see Wyatt out there blocking out in front of him. Fawcett doing a good job on the edge, allowing Clark to get to the outside.
How important is this touchdown?
Well, I'll tell you, any points I think is a huge benefit. It kind of puts Queen Creek on their heels a little bit and gives your guys some momentum.
Curry wide to the left, Means. Wide receiver set in tight on the left side. Man in motion is Fawcett, throwing to the corner of the end zone and overthrowing his intended receiver is Quentin Clark. And so Quentin Clark, intended pass to Jason Brown, I believe, yes. And it was way over his head.
I'll tell you what, well-designed play, though. Again, the pocket moves. We get our pulling guard, Terrence Bridges, coming up and setting up, resetting the pocket right there to protect for Clark. He had time. If he would have just sat his feet, he could have probably made a really good throw, but instead he decided to throw it on the run, and just the adrenaline perhaps got the better of them, and that airmailed. He was excited to see Brown that open.
And the Cougars taking an awful lot of time here. They're forced to burn a timeout with a 4th down and goal from the 7. We'll keep it here. Cougars on their second drive of the night and looking to score against the Bulldogs. How about this drive that the Cougars have put together, regardless of whether they punch it in here or not? I think they've made a statement.
They have made a statement, but you can see they probably had some scripted plays, and Coach Reichstorff, after that first set, probably threw that script out the window, went to some base offense with the 2 receiver set. Actually, it's a trips set to the wide side of the field, but then they bring Fawcett in motion across the formation, and then you got Wyatt in the backfield. I'm surprised they have not gone to Wyatt here in this short yardage situation. I mean, 7 yards, he's shown the ability to at least get 3, and if they would have done that in the last 2 plays, he's probably in the end zone. But you still credit the formation and the play calling. They're doing a great job of, putting Quentin Clark into situations that he has a chance to be successful in.
Wyatt averaging 7.3 yards per carry tonight, to your point, Mike.
That's exactly what they need to get this one in the end zone. So now they've gone with the pass a few times. Don't be surprised if Sholo doesn't go. Never mind, because they're going to kick a field goal.
Yeah,
I was going to say the draw play might have been a good call at this point.
Well, and Garrett Means on to try the field goal. Won't be too much longer than a point after try here. Ball will be spotted at the 14. A 24-yard attempt from the right hash. Good snap. Ricedorf puts the ball down. Means punches it through, and the Cougars lead 3-0 over the Bulldogs of Queen Creek. We'll step away. 3:09 left to play here in the first. The Sholo Cougars on top 3-0. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Sholo.
Mike punt game, drank all my soda, so. Right away, you got all this.
Welcome back to Sholo High School. The Sholo Cougars take their second possession of the game and drive
51 yards, I believe.
About 51 yards. They took over on downs in Queen Creek territory, I believe, at the 47. So 47-yard drive. They cap it off with a 24-yard field goal with 3:09 left to play here in the first quarter. They're up 3-0. Garrett Means set to kick this one away.
Well, I hope Coach
Simone Brown back deep to receive with Walker Patterson. And a short hop kick that's fielded at the 20. Cut it back to the left hash, try to turn it upfield, slip and fall at the 22-yard line. And the Sholo Cougars have pinned the Bulldogs back for their second possession.
Well, I hope Coach Ricedorf, he doesn't regret the play call in there at the end of that drive. They had the momentum going, they were chipping away, and then they went away from Wyatt. And they kind of stalled out. We did see Clark get that roughly 12-yard pickup for the first down, but when they went to the air, they kind of ran into some problems.
Well, that's what we didn't see against Williamsfield in the opening game, was a running game out of the Cougars, and that really changes the complexity of things, at least for the Bulldogs defensively, as they now have to honor the run. Barlo has a big hole on first down, picks up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down for the Bulldogs out to the 31-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Western Barlow came out with a renewed sense of purpose there as he hit that hole hard. I didn't get who made the tackle, but Jace Brewer on the tackle for the Cougars.
And a correction, ball spotted at the 36. So one play and a first down, and then a second play, and the Cougars drop them for a loss back to the 34.
Well, just like we talked about with the Cougars, the Bulldogs trying to get a little fancy there. You could see the quarterback kind of dancing around a little bit, and it took so long. The Cougars were already in the backfield by the time he actually handed it off.
Nick Amato and Willie Wyatt in on a stop for the Cougars on that one. High tandem in the backfield. And to Barlo. Barlo slips a tackle at the line of scrimmage, sheds another one at the 40. He's off to the races across midfield. 40, 35, to the 30. Brewer, a shoestring tackle at the 28-yard line to bring him down, but not before he picks up a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending first down.
Ooh, tough play there for the Cougars. Now I lost. Garrett Means had a chance at him early, but the Bulldogs go with a double tight end set and really did a great job on that far side, setting the blocks.
Barlow now with 51 yards on 5 carries. And here's the snap. Hand it to Barlow again. Barlow spins his way to the 25. Terrence Bridges in on the stop for the Cougars.
And, the problem with that, Barlow's probably tired. Probably want to give it to somebody else at that point. he was probably a little tired, so he took a little rest on that one. They're not able to get as many yards.
Weston Barlo, the 5'9", 190-pound senior. We understand he has committed, I believe, to I'm not sure if it's the Air Force or one of the naval schools, Naval Academy. Perhaps we'll check on that, but he's certainly a force to be reckoned with. They pick up big yardage here. 3rd down and 4 coming up. Big 3rd down play with the Cougars with their backs against their own goalpost at the 24-yard line. Call it the 23, give to Barlo, bounces outside 20, at the 15, knocked down inside the 10, picks up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling 1st down at the 7-yard line.
Well, Brewer and Brown combined for the tackle there, but just a great job on the left-hand side of the line for the Bulldogs. And they just smashed down on the Cougars right there, and Barlo had a huge hole to run through, and then his speed just takes over.
High set in the backfield for Queen Creek behind Bryce Dobbs. Handed off to Barlo. Barlo going to carry some tacklers with him across the 5-yard line. And they'll spot him at the 3. And this is what you said about Willie Wyatt. They're going to just ride Barlo here. They have yet to give it to anybody else.
Well, and I tell you, one mistake the Cougars are making now, they had some success early on, but now they're standing up on that front line, and these Bulldog linemen are taking advantage.
All right, maybe the Bulldogs underestimating the Cougars a little bit in that first drive, and Barlo carries for 3 yards for the touchdown.
Well, and that time we saw Barlo not just able to do things with his speed, but that time lowering the shoulder and going over the top of a linebacker. I believe it was Fawcett in order to get into the end zone. So as you talked about, Camden, we see a contrast already. Go to the well until it runs dry. Barlo looks like he's going to be capable of quite a bit more of that as the night continues.
Big drive for the Queen Creek Bulldogs, and it was all Barlo. I'm not sure that they did give it to anybody but Barlo on that drive. He had 5 carries, 51 yards at the start of that drive.
Swinging gate.
He's going to have some big stat totals. I believe he added another 50 yards. 10 for 77 yards. Just 31 seconds on that drive. Point after try is up, and it's through. And with 31 seconds left in the first quarter, it is the Cougars trailing now 7-3. We'll step away. Back with more of Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com right after this.
Sears Hometown Outlet is a big sponsor for Sholo Cougars.
Here. You got that? Welcome back. Cougars down 7-3 after they allow the Bulldogs to come back and put together a 31-second drive. Here's the ensuing kickoff. A deep, deep ball that is going to go 5 yards deep into the end zone and out of the back of the end zone. So the Sholo Cougars will have a 80-yard field now on their 3rd possession of the night.
Well, and this is a key possession. They did put points. They did put points on their second drive, but Queen Creek just came right back down, ran the ball right down their throat. This is a time to answer the bell for the Sholo Cougars. We'll see what they do.
Wide receiver, 2 receivers here near side. One of them's Curry, the other one's Means. Man in motion out of the backfield is Fawcett. Clark rolling right, looking to throw. Awkward pass, going to be picked up off the turf by Curry, but they say no. It bounced, incomplete.
Yeah, and there you see perhaps the inexperience of Clark. Not a very well thrown. He's throwing this ball the same every time, though. He's on the run. You know, it works really well on the playground, but that's when you don't have 200-pound linemen chasing you. It really is hard to do, and that's why they don't teach you to do that. They teach you to set your feet, and just Quinn Clark has not had the opportunity to do that.
Means and Curry wide right again. Tight end lines up on the right side. Slot goes in motion. That's Fawcett across the formation from right to left. And Clark looking to throw to him, but throws too high. It goes over Fawcett's head, incomplete.
Well, he set his feet that time and threw a bullet out there, but a little too high. And I tell you what, though, it's a good thing he got rid of it quickly, because the outside linebacker was on a blitz, unblocked. Caleb Honey for the Bulldogs, and he had dead to right. He had Clark dead to rights if Clark doesn't get rid of that quickly.
Brewer going to shuttle the play in. Looks like Brown checking out of the Cougar lineup. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Clark throws left. It is caught by Brewer on the left side. He's going to be wrapped up, spins though, and dives to the 30-yard line, close to a first down.
Tell you what, great effort by Brewer right there. That spin might have got. They're not even going to measure it. That was pretty close, I thought. But Brewer, a good job by not only catching the ball, and there we see the first. I believe that's the first completion for Clark, maybe a second, but his first good throw, and perhaps he's settling in a little bit.
Big time play by Brewer that time, Mike, and those are the types of plays the Cougars are going to have if they want to get a win tonight. Rolling right, Clark in trouble, fires, caught, and will be knocked down at the 38-yard line. Great pass that time as we get the end of the first quarter. When we come back, it's reception made to Curry, and the ball spotted at the Cougar 38. They'll face a second down and 3 when we return. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
And at the end of the first.
Do we need it to go another 30?
Well, we'll get it back up here in a second.
Welcome back to Sholo High School. Cougars with a 7-3 deficit at the moment, but they have picked up one first down already on this drive. They're looking to pick up a second and short here, as they send two receivers to the left, one to the right. Single back in the backfield with Clark, who's in the gun. They send Fawcett in motion across the formation, left to right, throw to him. It's caught, first down and more. He's to midfield before he's drugged down from behind. Jerome Fawcett, a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending, first down for the Cougars.
Well, and a great job. Great execution, and the timing is so much better right now for the Cougars. Fawcett comes off of the motion play and just runs out into the flats, and Clark gets in the ball quickly and in stride and allows Fawcett to outrun the outside linebacker on that side and pick up those extra yards after the catch.
Two receivers to the left, and we welcome back our radio fans. We had a power outage here, but back on the radio side as well as the TV side on City 4 TV and live at iTalk1067.com. They go straight ahead this time as Clark gives to Fawcett, I believe, or excuse me.
We're having a debate on who carried that, but I do know this. Tyler Northcutt, linebacker for the Bulldogs, is a stud. He's been in on a lot of tackles for Queen Creek.
Gain of 1 on first down, 2nd and 9. Clark rolling, in trouble, steps up, fires, caught! Great catch by Curry at the sticks. Ooh.
Curry almost let that ball get loose and hit the turf, but instead he cradles it and protects it, gets underneath it, and gets that big first down there. Also credit Quentin Clark right there. He kind of brought the ball down like he was going to run, and that froze the would-be pursuer and allowed him to get that ball off.
Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling, first down for the Cougars at the Bulldog 45-yard line. Means, along with Curry wide right, and a botched snap here. Fawcett falls on it at the 49-yard line.
It almost looked like that went right to Fawcett.
Direct snap to Fawcett, maybe a little off.
Yeah, it had a little bit of problem there. Loss of 4 on that play.
And Clark to throw. He's got a man. Caught. Brewer slips a tackle. 40, 35, 30. He could go. 15, 10, 5. Drive from behind at the 5-yard line. Big catch. Big first down for the Cougars. They'll mark him at the 6.
Well, they go with a run play one time in this drive, lose yards, come right back through the air. But you'll notice it's the quick passes that are really being bringing Cholo success. And I tell you what, Brewer, he runs so hard after he catches the ball. Didn't try to fake anybody. He just ran right through the arm tackle of the would-be defender, and one man, number 22 for Queen Creek, Nathan Neville, saves a touchdown. But again, Cougars now on the 6. We'll see if they go back to Wyatt.
First and goal from the 6. Means and Curry wide right, Brewer wide to the left. Man in motion, give to Wyatt. Wyatt up the gut, slips up to the 1-yard line, and that's the power you were talking about, Mike. Why not give it to Wyatt on 5 straight plays and score a touchdown?
You know, he when he gets the ball, you just can see his focus was on the end zone. He didn't care about anything else in front of him. That was his focus. I mean, if I'm Coach Ricer, I'm going right back to him. You got 2 more shots to take. He's at the 1. I just don't think the kid's going to be denied here. You know, it's going to take, Queen Creek's got some good players on the other side, but Wyatt really wants this one.
Fawcett winds up as a single back in the backfield with Clark. They hand to Fawcett, and Fawcett is hit backwards, falls back to the 4. He'll have forward progress, so I think to the 3. But again, why not Wyatt?
I'll tell you what, Keaton comes through for the Bulldogs and just hits helmet to helmet with Fawcett, and Fawcett's not packing a lot of weight, and he almost had his knees buckled right there and goes down. A little different ball carrier, and as your coach, you're trying to play the chess match. Are they expecting it to go to Wyatt? So I'm not going to give it to Wyatt, but at some point you got to give it to your stud.
Empty backfield. Clark going to keep himself. Carries over left tackle. Dives for the end zone. He's at the goal line, and he'll be short. Fourth down and inches.
You could see the knee go down a little early. Our viewers on City 4 will get a chance to see that replay, but his knee definitely went down a little early. Really, really good effort, but the blocking not quite there that time. And big play call now. Coach Reisdorf looks like he's going for it. I hate to sound like a broken record, but at some point you got to give it to your guy with the most intensity, and that's got to be Wyatt.
And Wyatt's lined up in the backfield, flanking Clark to his right, and Coach Reisdorf comes out running on the field to burn a timeout here.
I think that's their last one.
And I think it is too. That is their 3rd and final of the half. 8:19 left to play here in the 2nd quarter. The Cholo Cougars with a 4th and goal from the 1-inch line, about 6 inches. Let's check in with our sideline reporter, Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks for letting me join the broadcast there, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, we have the power to shut you off, too. Don't forget.
Yeah, well, you might after this. So after that, you know what, and Mike, I got to agree with you. I don't understand why when Willie Wyatt brings you down to the goal line that you don't give it to him 3 plays in a row. And what's funny, after he had got the ball down to the goal line, he turned around and looked at Coach Reisdorf, and he said, hey, let's do that play again. He gave the motion like one more time. and then 2 plays in a row not giving it to Wyatt. I have to imagine ball's on the goal line. You got to give it to your big man in the backfield. So I'm with you, Mike.
That's a first.
It'll probably be the last.
8:19 left. Second quarter. Cougars trailing 7-3. 6 inches to go from the goal line. No, they lose the handoff. Clark picks it up at the 5, dives, and flips over the pylon at the near side.
But he's hurt though. But he is big time hurt.
He's in trouble, but he scores a touchdown on a terrific play. The Cougars fumbled the football in the back of the backfield. Fumbled it back at the 10, but this could be a huge blow to the Cougars as Clark went vertical. He leaped from the 4-yard line, went up over the defender who caught him.
Well, the problem is,
and spun him in the air.
That long jump pit is right there, and it's surrounded by concrete. And the pursuit for Queen Creek came, and when they hit him in the air, everybody went to that long jump pit, and he took a big spill. Was in the air for a long time, but boy, I tell you what, that's a tough play for the official to call too, because he's in the air and going out of bounds as he crosses the goal line. I think it's a good thing for Shola. There's no instant replay or challenge in high school football. So a great effort by Quentin Clark, especially after the fumble.
Means on to try the point after try. And I'll tell you what, that was one of the most spectacular touchdowns I've ever seen in high school football. And a good PAT, the Cougars back on top. They lead it 10-7 with 8:11 left to play here in the second quarter. We'll step away. This is Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Sholo.
You have 5 seconds. You're hot.
Welcome back. The Cougars with a 10-7 lead. And let's go downstairs and check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, hey, Caden, I was at the goal line during that play, and it absolutely was a touchdown, and I agree with you. One of the most spectacular plays I've ever seen. It's something that you see in highlight reels in the NFL. He dove, got upended, and he did. He landed in the long jump pit, but he was pushed. As he was upended, he was pushed, and he crossed the goal line. But as you know, he was down. I just talked to Doc Fawcett. You know what? He just had a little bit of a stinger in his arm, just got hit in the arm. He's up. He was squeezing. He's good. You'll see him back in the next offensive drive.
Good news from downstairs. Thanks, Brandon. And a kickoff here by the Cougars sails into the end zone and out the back end. So the Cougars with some momentum here, Mike.
Well, you know, high school athletes not really used to those high-flying theatrics. And obviously when you land awkward, fear gets the better of you. And fear gets the better of you, and you know, everybody kind of freaks out after seeing a guy go that high in the air. But he obviously came out okay. But wow, I mean, that's a huge answer. I think I talked about that, where the Cougars come out and answer the quick touchdown. I think the Bulldogs scored in like 2 minutes 20 seconds or something. Cougars come right back in 3:01 and put 7 on the board. That's a huge answer for the Cougars, letting the Bulldogs know they're in for a tough one tonight.
8:11 left here in the half. 10-7. Cougars on top by 3, and it's been a great night of football here. You know, there were a lot of skeptics when we started looking at this one on the schedule.
And excuse me, it was a 4-minute 20-second drive on that last one. 70 yards. Is that right? No, 80-yard drive. 13 plays, 80-yard drive. Flag on the field.
It's like a procedure call against the Bulldogs.
Oh, backed them up.
So now they moved the chains though as well. So must be more than a warning. They're saying No, they're at the 15. 1st and 10 from the 15. 5-yard penalty. Dobbs to throw, has a man across the middle, caught. First down, 30-yard line, knocked down at the 32. Hunter Red on the reception for Queen Creek.
Woo. That was a great example by Dodd that time of some poise in the pocket. Had a lot of Cougars kind of getting on him, getting at his feet. He just stayed in, and he waited for his tight end, his big tight end, to come across the middle, come open in the middle of that zone there as the Cougars not in man-to-man right there, and put it right on the money.
We see why Dobbs has thrown 71% of his passes for completion so far this season on that play right there. 1st down and 10. Hey, Lacey Weeks, that's Supreme Lending first down for the Queen Creek Bulldogs. Barlo on the carry, and looked like Brewer hung on to him to drag him down at the 37-yard line. Terrence Bridges also in on the stop.
Well, I'll tell you, that reminds me about conditioning, Camden. We've seen a lot of Cougar guys go both ways, especially their key players, and so conditioning can be important for both them and the Bulldogs.
Well, we'll find out who is the more conditioned team. We talked a little bit about the altitude for the Bulldogs. Barlow, big hole, has a first down and more at the 50. Big block downfield, 40, 35, 30. Cuts it inside at the 25. Makes another man miss at the 15, and he's in for the touchdown. Barlow scores it from 63 yards away. Barlow into the end zone.
I'll tell you what, Skyler Bowman for the Bulldogs. He ran over Fawcett, first of all, put him down. That allowed Bowman to get to the outside, but then he took out about 3 guys who were pursuing somehow. He caused a huge pile up, so Bowman just does a great job of staying with it, doing his job as a receiver, getting downfield and blocking. But wow, Camden, this is a barn burner already. We're still early in the second quarter, but that was some speed out of Barlow right there.
Barlow is a man among boys out there tonight on that play. He looked tough. 41 carries, 274 yards coming into tonight's contest, and he's adding to the total with big numbers tonight. Point after try is good, and with 7:05 left to play in the first half, it's the Bulldogs back on top, 14-10. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Hunt, man, you missed that block.
I was feeling so alone.
I was going through a really difficult time.
I didn't want to bother anyone.
I didn't think they'd understand.
It was tough at first, but I did it.
I'm glad I asked for help.
I asked my teacher.
I asked my dad.
You can do this.
Whatever it is, ask for help.
If you're thinking about suicide or need support, call the Trevor Lifeline. Trained counselors are there to help 24/7.
Go one-on-one with Brewer, and Barlow beat him.
Welcome back to Sholo High School. The Cougars back underneath now. 14-10 after they give up another touchdown. We'll check in with Brandon Todd here in just a second. A big change in the atmosphere here after that touchdown as the Bulldogs set up for what looks like an onside kick and then break their huddle and spread out across the 36-yard line. And now we'll kick it away. A low line drive kick, be fielded by Means at the 8, up the middle, slips a tackle at the 20. Goes out to the 24-yard line and pounded down there. Garrett Means, a big return for the Cougars, sets them up at the Cougar 25-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks, Camden. You know, you talk about the air being let out of the balloon or however you want to let it out of the sails. That's exactly what happened to the Sholo Cougars on their sidelines and their fans. After what you will probably I will call the best play you'll see all year by Quentin Clark, and then to give up a 63-yard touchdown run, and in his defense, the guy's going D1, but just the wind, you can feel the wind let out of these sidelines over here.
Quick pass to Brewer near side, and it is caught at the 30. He turns it upfield, gets a couple of extra. But a great play on first down, very manageable play on second as they pick up 6 yards, 2nd and 4 coming up.
Well, these guys are just, you know, a couple of boxers trading punches right now. The defenses are really going to, they're going to be the focal point of the halftime talks because somebody's got to make tackles, somebody's got to make stops, you know. Jace Brewer, he's tired coming over to the near sideline. He had to try to chase Barlo down.
Brewer wide to the near side, as you mentioned. 2 receivers to the right. Man in motion across the set is Fawcett. Throw to him. Caught at the 35. He's tripped up and upended. Gets out to the 38-yard line and picks up a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down for the Cougars.
Well, Simone Brown, I tell you what, that's a big tackle because Fawcett does a great job of pretending to block as he's done all night, shedding the block, getting out into the flats, and making the catch. Brown makes that tackle from his knees. Otherwise, I think Fawcett's on his way to the house.
Curry and Means wide right. Clark in the gun. Single back in the backfield is Wyatt. Wyatt had no hole, slips through some defenders, finds some room, and pushes the pile forward to the 44-yard line.
Well, you see the Cougars are pulling some linemen right there, trying to kick out, get some trap plays working. But these are inexperienced linemen. Bridges guy pulling from this guard position, but just not coming down that line with a lot of speed. And so his kick out not quite big enough to allow Wyatt to get big yards.
Ball at the 43, call it 2nd down and 6. Wyatt, big hole, has a run, man dragging him from behind. Wyatt finally brought down at the 40-yard line. Wyatt with a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down for the Cougars.
Palermo makes a big tackle for the Bulldogs as Wyatt, that time we saw a little different part of Wyatt, Willie Wyatt, when he got past that initial line of scrimmage into the secondary, put on some speed, some pretty impressive speed for the Cougars.
At the 42, Clark, a fresh set of downs for the Cougars. He throws and tripped up. Wyatt down the near side, rather Brewer down the near sideline. He's tripped up and cannot come up with it as we get penalty markers everywhere.
Well, a tough play there. Brewer doing a nice job battling out there, a one-on-one with Brown. And that time, Clark putting some nice touch on the ball, almost like a little fade pattern as Brewer trying to just run by Brown. Their feet get tangled up, but that's an automatic. That's an easy one for the officials to call. Should be a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
With a fresh set of downs from the Bulldog 32. Curry and Means wide right again. Wyatt in the backfield, flanking Clark to his right. Cougars changing the play at the line of scrimmage. It's being called in from the sideline. Clark from the gun, handed to Wyatt. Wyatt hit at the line of scrimmage, still on his feet, fighting for extra yardage, but he's going to be dropped after a gain of 1.
Well, Palermo not fooled that time. He's a linebacker who moves to the wide side of the field, their strong side linebacker, and you can see why. Does a great job of pursuing to the ball quickly before Wyatt had a chance. Kind of a read play that perhaps Clark missed on that one, might have pulled that one back.
Wide receiver right. Wyatt in the backfield again, fake to him, play action, throw right side, Curry, but Clark throws behind Curry, and it's incomplete.
And not only incomplete, but almost picked off by Zach Glace. I'm assuming this is how you pronounce that. And he made the adjustment to the ball. Curry could not. He was expecting that ball to be thrown in front of him, and perhaps a little miscommunication by Clark and Curry that time.
Cougars down by 4. And a 3rd down and 9 coming up now for the Cougars. They send Means and Curry wide left this time. Single receiver out to the right side, I believe is Brewer. They put Wyatt in motion and Clark in trouble. He's going to be sacked for a loss. Penalty marker thrown at the line of scrimmage. Could add some insult to the injury.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wyatt that time, he motions out out of the backfield and missed the big block on the outside linebacker. I believe that was Bowman. And you could tell it as soon as Bowman made his charge that Wyatt was like, oh, I missed that one. And sure enough, it cost Clark the sack. Clark trying to get rid of it
but just not enough time. So now the Cougars are going to have to, they're going to an obvious pass situation here. Not, punting. I mean, they could punt here and try to pin the Bulldogs, but 4:50 to go. If they can pick up a first down here, it would be a big, big boost going into the locker room at halftime.
Reisdorf stands at his 44-yard line, takes a shotgun snap, near side, towards Clark, caught, incomplete, out of bounds. Oh, brother, what a play. Clark looked like he had another spectacular play down the near sideline with a catch, but he was just out of bounds. Just ran out of real estate. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
For the sophomore quarterback coming in every so often, that was a beautifully thrown ball to the Clark's outside shoulder. It was a little bit underthrown, but honestly, I think that was the only place to throw it. And honestly, I hate to say it, but it was a good call by the referee. Clark, as he came around, he had to leave his feet to catch it, and he landed with his hip right on the line.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And that'll turn the ball over on downs. Back to the Bulldogs. So the Cougars trailing by 4 with 4.5 left to play in the half. We'll now have to figure out how to stop Barlo and this high-powered Bulldog offense. So we get a penalty marker thrown, and that's one way to do it.
That's not the way to do it. That's going to be offsides. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone for the Cougars. That's going to give them 5 yards easy. But I mean, it was a big gamble by Coach Reisdorf to go for it there on 4th down, because with 4:33, we've seen the Bulldogs able to pick up big yards in a hurry, and that's a lot of time.
They went 80 yards the last time, so I'm not sure pinning them back makes too much.
Well, that's true. 1:06. Their last drive took 1:06.
Yeah. Wide receivers left and right. Under center this time. Pitch it to Barlo, sweeping, he's hit, slips out of a tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and we'll get a yard on the carry, so a 2nd and 4 coming up.
Well, I'll tell you, Jason Brown did a good job of getting some penetration into the backfield and spun Barlo back to the inside, and that allowed some other Cougars to come in and clean it up. Barlo does what he can to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Clock approaching the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. It is the Bulldogs 14, Cougars 10. And on 2nd and 4, they give to Barlo, sweeping, cuts it upfield, has a first down, 45-40, cuts it back to the midfield, 35, has one man to beat at the 15, 5, touchdown, Queen Creek gives it to their money man and scores it again. Let's go! 68 yards on the carry for Barlo.
Yeah, Stephen Curry, the last man who had a chance, and he had no chance. Just too much speed. And I tell you what, the answer the Cougars are going to have to come up with here, Camden, is the containment. They cannot let Barlo get to the outside. They got walled down on the inside. Their tight ends, they go, Queen Creek goes 2 tight ends. They do a great job of holding their block on the outside, hooking the outside linebacker. And when Barlo gets to the outside, the speed is just too much once he gets into the open field.
Well, and in this trading punches type of environment, the Cougars fall behind now by a couple of scores with that big touchdown run there by Barlo. And if the last one took wind out of the sails of the Cougar fans, this one did an even better job as they tack on a point after try. And with 3:49 left to play in the second, it is the Bulldogs on top, 21-10. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
1 minute.
Mom! It's an emergency. What do you do? When in doubt, dial it out. 911. Don't hesitate. Just make the call. 911 will help you with the rest. Seconds count, so dial it out. 911. Not sure what to do? It's okay. All you need to do is call. 911 will help determine what to do next. Remember, when in doubt, dial
21-10, 3:49 to play, second quarter. Queen Creek set to kick it away. And you mentioned it, they've got to come up with a way to stop Barlo. Line drive kick again, bounces at the 10, fielded at the 6 by Brewer, up the middle, 20, 25, lowers his shoulder, fights his way out to the 28-yard line, where the Cougars will have another good set, or a good field position again to start this drive.
Well, you know, we haven't had a chance to talk a whole lot about special teams, but boy, it sure seems like the Cougars are so close to breaking those kickoff returns. They're just one block away from taking that one to the house. So the good news for the Cougars, 3:44. They've shown the ability to march down the field as well. Maybe they can get an answer and get this game back close.
Clark in the gun, takes the snap, looks to throw, in trouble, going to be sacked for a loss. And I'm not sure what happened there. Looked like Clark was looking for a quick slant. Curry wasn't looking for the ball, or he was covered or something.
The Cougars are trying to deke the Bulldogs right there. They're trying to pretend like the play is dead. Everybody just kind of stands around, and then they're on a count and they move. But too much speed for the Bulldogs that time. I missed the guy that got in the backfield. Keaton got in there, and I made the sack.
So now second down at the zip code for the Cougars. They hand it off to Brewer. He's dropped in the backfield. Excuse me, to Wyatt. Wyatt's dropped in the backfield this time. Back at the 17.
Wow, and looky here. The Bulldogs going to call a timeout, I believe, in order to, they've shown that they can score quickly, and they're thinking, hey, maybe we're going to get one more chance, especially keeping the Cougars deep in their own territory.
Now, I don't know what they need a timeout for. They've scored in their last 2 possessions in less than a minute.
In about a minute. Well, they want to make sure they have a minute. You know, there's 2:58 to go.
Timeout on the field, 2:58 left to play in the second. Bulldogs lead 21-10 over the Cougars, and gives us a time to remind you that we'll have a complete look inside the numbers with Punt Cooley at the half. Our Sunrise Park Resort halftime show is coming up as we'll get set for a halftime analysis.
Well, since we all have a face for radio, maybe we'll show some highlights or something of the halftime activities.
That's why we're showing Cooley.
Okay.
Cooley is the guy for TV. There's no question about it. So don't forget, Sunrise will be opening them back up again for the winter with great skiing projected this year. Should be some good snow this year. You can go online and pre-order a season pass.
Said that, you know.
Is that going to jinx it?
Yeah, well.
Well, I say it every year. Well, maybe that's the problem.
Maybe there you go.
Anyway, pick up your season pass at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com. As the Bulldogs have the Cougars pinned back now.
Well, they're gonna go the Cougars right here. That's just gonna play right into the Bulldogs' plans here.
2nd and 20 to go on the Cougar. I think 16, and a quick pass Reisdorf to Clark. Clark gets banged out of bounds, and I'll tell you what, Clark's going to be nursing some bruises tomorrow.
Well, I think the Bulldogs got away with one. Might have been a late hit out of bounds, but the official had turned his head away, looking to spot the ball instead of looking at the continuation of the play. It was close. It was bang bang, but could have definitely been a penalty.
Clark is still holding that. It looks like he's holding his shoulder, almost like he's got a dislocated shoulder, holding that arm up. I don't know if he's just toughing it out or what, but Cougars forced a punt, and an awkward punt at best by Garrett Means. Bounces at the 45 and goes out of bounds at the midfield stripe where the Bulldogs will have it.
Not horrible idea. Try to keep it out of the Bulldogs' hands. Don't let them return it, but I'm sure Coach Reisdorf would have liked a little bit more yardage to work with, but right now, it's just all about containing Bowman. Don't let him get to the outside. You can't, Barlo. Can't let him have a big crease up the middle. I mean, it's a tall order, to say the least, but it's assignment football. You got to have your linemen doing a good job of occupying holes, not standing up trying to make the play. They got to just occupy space and let the linebackers come up and make the tackle.
Bulldogs from the midfield stripe. We'll try to punch some more points up before the end of this half with 2:50 remaining. They're up 21-10. Man in motion out of the formation, comes right side. They hand it off to Danielson, and Danielson off tackle right side, going to be tackled by Wyatt at the 45-yard line, a gain of 5 on first down.
Well, still a lot of time left for the Bulldogs, 2 timeouts to play with. You know, kind of surprised they ran it a little bit because the clock is going to continue to run. But they, like I said, a lot easier to stop the clock on defense. I mean, sorry, on offense. Perhaps trying to use a little misdirection as they put Barlo in motion that time. That's the good news for the Cougars, is they didn't give him the ball.
Well, they're not even going to a no huddle.
Which they did on their last possession.
They call the play, bring it in from the sideline, take plenty of time here with 2:10 left on the clock and the clock rolling. They send out 4 receivers and they throw down the middle, and it's incomplete. The pass was intended to Barlo that time. Had lots of time, did Dobbs, but unable to connect.
Yeah, I mean, kind of gives you the impression of a pretty good throwing college team, a Pac-12 team perhaps, able to just set up in that pocket, makes an intentional 5-step drop, you know, waits, and not sure why he missed that one. Barlo had broken free and had to step on the defender, but just overthrew him. Perhaps maybe thinking Barlo was even faster than he actually is, and Dobbs just overthrew him.
Wide receiver left, single receiver to the right side of the set. They set a tight end up on the left side. Dobbs under center with an offset eye behind him on 3rd down and 5. Quick pass left side, caught, first down, and out to the 39-yard line. Xavier McGuire on the reception, picks up a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending, first down.
And looked like Curry out there on the, no, excuse me, that's Sharp out there on the coverage, coming up from the linebacker position. Quick slant, kind of deflecting some attention here from Barlo or the Bulldogs. But they are running out of time here, have not used those last 2 timeouts.
Dobbs calling out signals at the line of scrimmage from the Cougar 40. Quick throw near side, caught at the 40, slips a tackle at the 47, around another tackle at the 30, drop down at the 25, and the Cougars bending a bit here have got to decide how bad they want this game.
Boy.
Because one more score and it really changes the complexity of things in the second half.
It does, and we've seen some of these Cougar players that we think of as really good players. You know, Fawcett's a really good player. Bowman just made him kind of look silly right there, slipping by him and picking up that first down and stopping the clock momentarily.
Minute 23, clock rolling. 21-10, Bulldogs lead. 1st and 10 from the Cougar 25. Dobbs pitches it to Barlo. Barlo off tackle left side, hit, knocked down at the 20-yard line.
Well, see, credit Jason Brown that time. He didn't make the tackle, but he turned Barlo back to the inside, and that's where, you know, his teammates are waiting for him.
You talked about that outside contain as the Bulldogs call a timeout here. We'll keep it here. But you talked about that outside contain. The Cougars deficient in that area. Also, they were deficient in leaving their feet to make the tackle and just allowing Barlo to shed those would-be tacklers. They've done a better job, at least on that play. There, they showed at least that they can tackle Barlo.
Well, and it helps when you have more than one guy. You know, he a lot of times makes the first guy miss, or at least, you know, just a grab of the jersey. But that time there was a lot of good defensive pursuit by the Cougars. I was a little worried at the formation. It looked like they were expecting pass. They were a good ways off the line of scrimmage, but they did a good job of filling the holes. And the linemen did a good job. As I said, assignment football. Brown again that time is taking his slant to the outside, forcing Barlo back to the inside.
Minute 7 left. The Bulldogs call a timeout to stop the clock here. They face a 2nd and 5. Cougars with their backs against their goal post from the Cougar 20-yard line. Single receiver left, single receiver to the right. Eye tandem in the backfield behind Dobbs. Dobbs takes a snap, but a penalty marker is thrown, and we get a procedure call against the Bulldogs. Big break here for the Cougars.
Huge breaks, and you know, and on the previous possessions, I was in my mind thinking about how disciplined so far the Bulldogs have been on offense, just doing their job, nobody getting too crazy. And there we see their first little mental miscue here in an important time in the game, I'm sure, as far as they're concerned, and we get a little movement early. Crowd wasn't a factor. That's just a lack of focus on the Bulldog front.
2nd and 10 now. And Queen Creek, wide receiver to the far, receiver to the right. Dobbs under center. 2 men split in the backfield this time behind him from a wishbone. Looking to throw across the middle. It is caught at the 14. Dragon tacklers with him to the 10. Reception made by Hunter Red. And a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down on a 15-yard pass play.
Well, and again, this time the Bulldogs going with a single tight end, but it's Red, and he's been a favorite target of Dobbs so far here tonight. A sure-handed tight end. He's done a great job blocking as well, but Dobbs just put that one on the money.
Queen Creek setting a wide receiver to the left side of the set, and again one to the right. I tandem in the backfield behind Dobbs. Dobbs looking to throw, has a man, but it is almost picked off. Xavier McGuire, the intended receiver, and it looked like Damian Sharp had a chance on it, but he fell down as he tried to go towards it.
Sharp better watch his antics there as he's coming up a little cocky. What happened is Dobbs threw it right to him, knowing that McGuire, excuse me, was going to cut in front of him. But when the ball was thrown to Sharp, Sharp froze, and instead of continuing to come to the ball, he froze, and that's what kept him from intercepting the ball as McDaniels made a play on it.
2 receivers to the left this time. Tight end lines up on the right side. Dobbs on 2nd and goal from the 10. Looks to throw, he's in trouble, now he gets it off. Terrence Bridges back there just about sacks him for a loss, but we see that 6'4", 212-pound frame, why that's so valuable.
Yeah, able to just keep the play alive long enough to get it out to a receiver. We saw the quick penalties last week when we were covering Blue Ridge, the intentional grounding penalties, and there Dobbs does a great job of getting rid of that, but to a receiver, but really where nobody could throw. He was just throwing that away in order to avoid the sack.
37 seconds left to play before the end of the half. 3rd and goal from the Cougar 10. Wideouts go left and right. I set behind Dobbs. Tied in on the left side. Dobbs takes the snap, pitches it to Barlo. Barlo from the 15, turns it upfield to the 10. 5 dives for the end zone. Touchdown. Queen Creek scores it again.
Well, guess what? Barlo to the outside. The tight end was set up on that side, Red, and he does a good job of controlling the edge of the line of scrimmage. And Barlo, he just gets there too fast, gets there before the Cougar linebackers are. He changes their angles of pursuit, and then it's just too late.
Swinging gate on the point after try here as Queen Creek lines up their entire offensive line to the left side. Now they will make a call and shift everybody up over the ball.
Barlo has over 200 yards rushing on the night.
East to kick. Point after try is up and good. 28-10. Bulldogs lead with 29 seconds before half. We'll keep it here. And Mike, we talked about how important it was for the Cougars to hold on that defensive series that time.
And they almost had it. They had it down to a 3rd and long situation, but I don't know if you noticed, Ken, that the Bulldogs didn't go to Barlo that whole series until that last play. I don't know if they were letting him rest or just trying to divert attention away from him. But whatever, I mean, maybe the coach is like, well, we know we can score with Barlo. Let's see if we can work some more the rest of the offense, because as soon as he touched it, you could see it develop from here. As soon as he got to the outside, just no answer from the Sholo Cougars. I don't know what that means.
Queen Creek set to kick off. And it is Oswaldo Chavez to kick. And he hits a short one, and the Cougars pick it up. Jason Brown carries back to the 45-yard line. Cougars may get a couple of cracks at the end zone here with 25 seconds.
They don't have any timeouts, but yeah, I mean, you put Reisdorf back there. He throws it pretty far, and then you got Quentin Clark, one of the fastest guys on the field, and they are going to put Reisdorf in at quarterback. Hey, take a couple shots.
Reisdorf on to play quarterback. Clark looks like he's had some medical attention to that arm. He's now wearing a
protective sleeve of some kind?
Yeah, protective sleeve on the right arm. although it was his left arm that I think was injured before. Quick throw here to Clark, going to come back. Clark loses the ball at the 50-yard line.
He's got to get
still on his feet, and he'll be knocked down, or they'll actually blow it dead. But you're right, he doesn't get out of bounds. It doesn't stop the clock. Clock rolling under 15 seconds.
I think Coach Reisdorf's just going to eat it now. He didn't get the clock stopped like he wanted to, and so
4 seconds, 3 seconds. They may not get it snapped here. They do with 1 second left. Reisdorf looking to throw near side. Has Clark. Clark catches at the 25, 20, 15. Oh, brother! He steps out at the 22, and that's the end of the first half. Oh my goodness! Can you believe that?
I'll tell you what, that's the game plan, right? Reisdorf, just throw it up in Quentin Clark's direction and see what happens. He got away with probably a little push-off, a little offensive pass interference, but then makes a great catch, and now he steps out. Should have stepped out of bounds the first time, does it there, and unfortunately kills the drive.
I'll tell you what, Clinton Clark in the running for our Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game. He's been one of the most exciting players of this 2014 campaign, and that time a chance to go to the house, but just ran out of real estate again. We saw that happen twice. Let's go to Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, I'm here with Coach Reisdorf, head coach of the Show Cougars. Coach, you're going at halftime down 18. What's the word to your players at half?
Just freaking, we cannot get beat on 4th down and 10. That just cannot happen. I'm so frustrated because we played so good. We moved the ball. We marched the ball. They hadn't been scored on. So proud of what we're doing. We just cannot give up big plays. It's unacceptable to give up big plays. We're better than that.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Coach Reisdorf there taking a minute to talk about really what we've been talking about, Mike, and it's something that you can bet will be a halftime adjustment for him.
Yeah, the Cougars did do a lot of good things. Once that first possession was over, their first series, forget about that. They did a lot of good things offensively. They got the ball out to skill players, got some room to run, did some great things with Wyatt running the ball at the middle. Defensively, though, has got to be and I think that's what Coach Reisdorf hit on. That's what what they have to answer at halftime is how do they make the adjustments defensively, not allow those huge runs for the Queen Creek Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, I think a lot of the football pundits across the state were saying to themselves that the Queen Creek Bulldogs weren't going to give the Cougars even a game tonight, or rather the opposite of that. The Cougars weren't going to give Queen Creek a game, but they were stride for stride with them in that first half.
They came out to play, home game. Queen Creek having to make the long trip, and so give the Cougars a lot of credit. Give the coaching staff a lot of credit because the game plan seems to be working pretty well. They just haven't executed at 100% right now, and that's the difference really in the game. And with a team like Queen Creek, a very talented team, obviously, that little percentage that they're not doing well, that they're not executing, has cost them an 18-point differential.
At the half, it's the Bulldogs on top, 28-10. We'll be back. Our Sunrise Park Resort halftime show coming up next. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
This week, take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
to Sholo High School and our Sunrise Park Resort halftime show, brought to you by the Sunrise Park Resort. At halftime, it's the Bulldogs on top, 28-10. As we take a look at how we got here, the Cougars on their opening possession forced to punt the ball. They give it up to the Bulldogs, where the Bulldogs take advantage. They go 8 plays, 79 yards, and cap off the drive with a 3-yard touchdown run by Barlo, who we have called all night long. And with 2 minutes, or excuse me, time of possession was 2 minutes and 28 seconds. And
you even have glasses.
I know, but I don't see, where's the end time on this thing? They started at 2:59, but
right here.
31 seconds. 31 seconds left in the first quarter rather. The Queen Creek Bulldogs led 7-0 with a good PAT. The Cougars get the ensuing possession, 7-3, I should say. No, not yet. They get the ensuing possession. The Cougars on their second possession. Nope, Sholo punted on their first drive. And Sholo then on their second drive, capping off a 9-play, 47-yard drive with a 24-yard field goal with 5:08 left to play in the second quarter. The Sholo Cougars had, well, I'll check it for you. I'm not sure of the string of events yet now because Mike is pointing out that I may be reading this wrong. But nonetheless, the Cougars the Cougars were at that point down 7-3, and Queen Creek able to score again.
You need some water.
Up 14-3, and here you go, Mike. You want to take over this?
You want me to try this?
There you go. Good luck.
I don't have my glasses, but we'll see. So you're at 14-3.
14-3, Queen Creek. Cougars tack on another touchdown.
They get a touchdown. Yeah,
they get a touchdown. It's 10 actually it was Cougars took the lead. It was 10-7, and then the Bulldogs score on the ensuing possession on a 31-second drive. Barlo caps off the drive, and he scores to put the Bulldogs back on top, 14-10, and then it was all Bulldogs from that point.
Yeah, the next possession for Queen Creek, that just a 44-second drive, that time going 57 yards, and they get another touchdown from Barlo. This time he goes that distance, 57 yards, had some big blocking up front, allowing him to get into the end zone, and that made the score. We don't have a running score on that one though, do we? 21 to 3. 23 to 10, excuse me. 21 to 10. On Queen Creek's next possession, actually Sholo's next possession, Sholo ended up having to punt, and then on Queen Creek's last possession, they had a drive of 2 minutes and 21 seconds, got it down fairly close, but could not get it into the end zone. They went 9 plays, 50 yards, and that does end, in a Barlow 10-yard touchdown run, and that puts us at the score we're at now, 28-10.
28-10 here at the half. And with that stellar effort, we will step away, back with a look inside the numbers with Punt Cooley that'll really tell us the story here at the half. Hello. This is the Sunrise Park Resort halftime show. We'll be back. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Sholo.
This is my town. Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate Event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
Run every.
Queen Creek Bulldogs 28-10. We're going to try to get you a live shot of how things look up here in the press box. Sholo has spent a significant amount of money putting in this new press box, keeping us out of the elements. Although the heat's, early season game, the heat's a little high. As Camden Smith joins us, and so this is what the new press box looks like. And we're indoors, but now we're going to take a look inside the numbers with Punt Cooley. Punt too bad we don't have the camera on this side to see all the. I mean, this is like big time. We're like, I mean, I guess you'd call it big time. Camden, can you take Punt out of queue so that we can hear his report? And so now, Punt, you're gonna go through the first half stats for us.
I'll be happy to. Well, let's start with the visiting Queen Creek Bulldogs. They were able to generate a total of 275 yards of offense in that first half. Of course, the bulk of it on the ground with Barlo just going nuts. He ends up with 218 yards on 16 carries, does the running back for Queen Creek. And of course, he gets all 4 of their touchdowns in that first half. But as a team, Queen Creek 17 carries for 223 yards total. That's a 13 yard per carry average. And then passing, they really didn't have to pass that much. They go 4 for 8 for a total of 52 yards. First downs for the game so far for Queen Creek, a total of 7 first downs, and of course the 4 touchdowns. Time of possession only 8-19 compared to Sholo, who had the ball, of course, most of the time in that first half, getting close to 15 minutes of possession time.
Well, usually that stat goes to the team in the lead, right? 15 minutes versus 8, 9.
What it's indicative of is when you look at those scores for Queen Creek, they were those big runs by Barlo, and they did not need those big long possessions in order to get those scores.
Yep.
You know, with those big runs of 50 and whatever the other one was. Sholo, of course, though, 9 first downs, so they were able to move the ball in that first half. Of course, just the 1 touchdown on the run by Quentin Clark, the quarterback, scrambling to get that first down. Leading rusher for the Sholo Cougars, Willie Wyatt, 9 carries, 53 yards, and really he is the only running back that has accumulated any positive yardage for the Cougars in that first half on the ground. The Cougars throwing quite a bit in that first half, 11 for 17 for a total of 135 yards. So a very effective passing game in that first half. That's a 12-yard per pass average. They are able to accumulate just under a yard under 190 yards in that first half, again compared to Queen Creek's 275. So clearly, I guess the story of the first half, Queen Creek running game, just really busting away with that running back for them, Weston Barlo, number 33, getting 218 of those 275 yards. And then Sholo, 21 carries for 54 yards on the ground. most of their yardage through the air, so a little bit more balanced attack, but they still need to find the way to put points on the board.
Well, if you look at the yardage, 189 to 275, not a huge disparity compared with the score, and you go back to the second possession for the Cougars, only be able to get that field goal. They were knocking on the door of the end zone. That's a kind of a big factor, and then not being able to score here at the end. They racked up some yards, but didn't get points on the board.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we saw a couple of drives, as you said, Mike, where they were able to move against Queen Creek. Like that second possession, they drove down the field very effectively. I think the key, obviously, for them in this next half, the second half, is whether it's passing or running, and it's likely they'll come back with a pretty balanced attack because Willie Wyatt's been able to find some space running the ball, and the line seems to be doing a good job of getting holes open for him. But it's clear they're not going to be able to rely solely on the run game. They're going to have to put it up in the air. And then the other key, of course,
most importantly.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, the other big key for the Cougars in the second half is find a way to shut down Barlo. He's just tearing them up right now.
All right. Thank you very much, Punt, for that report. You are listening to the Halftime Report on iTalk 106.7. And on the web, don't forget to check out our live feed on iTalk1067.com. When we come back, the start of the second half, our score, the Show Low Cougars 10, the Queen Creek Bulldogs 28. We'll be back right after this.
Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Show Low.
And there.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Daddy, I'm gonna find you.
High School, our halftime score 28-10. The Cougars trailing the Bulldogs. Let's go downstairs and check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon.
Thanks, Camden. I got a chance to catch up with Coach Sherman of the Queen Creek Bulldogs as he was walking across the field. I said, Coach, what was your speech to your kids at halftime? He said, we got to get our crap together. And that's a quote. He says, you know, I'm upset that we didn't score in a couple of those possessions, and we're just kind of going through the motions. You're up 18-0, and he's upset that they're going through the motions, Camden. And I said, anything about Show Low that surprises you? And he goes, you know what? Coach Reisdorf's a heck of a coach. We knew he'd have his boys ready to play, and they're scrappy. He said, we're not letting up in this third quarter.
All right, thanks, Brandon. And we bring into our broadcast Brian Hanlon, who has been helping us out up here, and we appreciate his efforts as our studio on-site producer. Brian, tell us a little bit about your impressions of this first half. The Cougars playing pretty well against the Queen Creek Bulldogs tonight.
It's been pretty impressive. Queen Creek's been pushing pretty hard. They used their time very wisely, and they scored those 2 touchdowns very fast in the amount of time they did have. Show Low's got to keep pushing hard. They got another half to see if they can catch up, but it's going to be tough because Queen Creek's pushing them hard. Brian,
we expect to see you either on TV or on the big screen later in life, okay, buddy?
Thank you.
Brian Hanlon, our in-studio producer here tonight and helping us out on the broadcast. We appreciate his efforts as we get set for the second half kickoff. Garrett Means puts foot into it, hits an end-over-ender that will back the return man back to the 4-yard line. He takes it out to the 15, angles out at the 20, to the left side at the 25-30, knocked out of bounds near the 35-yard line, and penalty markers come flying in as that may have been a late hit out of bounds.
I can't believe that's what Coach Reisdorf talked about coming out of the locker room at halftime. Big run there for Simone Brown for Queen Creek. And you know, a short field. You know, you can't if you're preaching about your defense in there in the locker room at halftime, you can't come out and give a short field to the Queen Creek Bulldogs. Although we don't know what's happening yet.
11:52, opening paragraph of the third, and they are calling this against the Cougars. Dead ball, personal foul, 15-yard variety. And the Cougars have given the Bulldogs excellent field position.
I think that Sholo's only their second penalty of the night.
From the 44-yard line, single receiver to the left, eye tandem in the backfield, behind Dobbs. 1st and 10. Dobbs takes the snap, hands a second man through. That's Barlo. Barlo bings his way across the 45 and will be knocked down near the 47-yard line. Call it the 48.
Well, Jace Brewer is playing he's playing outside linebacker on that side. And it looks like the Bulldogs trying to go to the tight end side. Of course, they go with 2 tight ends a lot of times.
28-10 is our score. Bulldogs on top with the football. Give to Barlo again. Spins out of a tackle. Gets a first down to the 40. And across the 40-yard line, knocked down near the 38. Brewer finally tackles him for the Cougars, but that was the key to the second half for the Cougars is stop Barlo.
Well, a little extracurricular on that one on Garrett Means. Good job by officials talking to the offending Queen Creek Bulldog.
Dobbs goes under center with a eye set behind him. Single receiver left, and here come the penalty markers. We get another penalty here. This one a dead ball. Procedure call against the Bulldogs as Queen Creek will start with a 1st and 15 on this possession.
Well, you know, Queen Creek now going to the hurry-up offense. We saw them do this on a couple drives in the first half, but it takes some patience. You can't go too quick. Dobbs perhaps getting that one going before his guys were set, and it cost them 5 yards.
Single receiver wide to the left side of the formation. Tight end lines up on the right side. Eye set behind Dobbs, who sets up under center on a 1st and 15. From the Cougar 44-yard line. Fires left side, has a man, and it's incomplete. Big play defensively. That time as Brewer hits him right in the breadbasket.
Well, I'll tell you what, just lack of concentration by the Bulldogs right there as Dobbs put that one on the money. Brewer right there to help as the ball arrived, but Bowman just doesn't keep the concentration up, and it falls incomplete.
I think Brewer knocked it loose.
I think he dropped it before Brewer got there. So you're overruled.
All right. Well, we would check in with Brandon, but he would overrule me even more. So 2nd and 15. Dobbs under center. Eye set behind him. This time in an offset eye, hard snap count. Looks like Cougars may have jumped offside.
They could get Dobbs here. He gave the hard count, but he also kind of jumped a little bit. The rest of the line stayed put, but they could easily nail Dobbs on this one.
And they do. It is a procedure call against Queen Creek.
You know, he might get that call sometimes, you know, take a gamble, but just didn't get it this time.
So Queen Creek, a 2nd and 20 coming up from the Cougar 48.
Well, you almost need to have a spy right here on Barlo because he's the only guy that's really hurt. I mean, Dobbs throws a good ball and everything, but Barlo's a guy that's hurt you, especially when he gets the perimeter. You just gotta have a guy that accounts for him every snap.
Wide receiver, 2 receivers wide to the left. And 2 split backs behind Dobbs. Dobbs looking to throw on 2nd and 20. Comes near side, and it's overthrown, intended for the tight end, Red. And Curry and Brewer there with him defensively with some pretty good coverage.
Well, and good protection for Dobbs. It's pretty amazing. These guys, these linemen for Queen Creek just give him all day, and he's missed. I mean, he should have been able to put that one. So that one wasn't really that close. Maybe he could blame the altitude. The ball's flying farther than he thinks, but his line is doing everything that they've been asked to do. He's just got to connect. But credit Sholo, the secondary that time, doing a much better job in coverage.
3rd down and 20. Couple receivers left and right, tight end left. eye set behind Dobbs. In an offset eye, Dobbs looking to throw, in trouble, has to dump it, and that should be intentional grounding, as Wyatt was right in the face of Dobbs as he tried to get set.
Well, they were trying to run a screen play. The intentional grounding wouldn't happen. Barlo was in the area. They were trying to set up the middle screen, but just too much pressure. Did you say Wyatt was back there? Wyatt was back there and just putting the pressure came too quick. So good job by Sholo containing. But again, Queen Creek goes away from Barlo. They don't give him the ball, and it costs them. They can't pick up first downs.
And on 4th down and 20, they're going to go for it from the Cougar 48. Dobbs looking to throw, looks left, now looks down the middle, now airs it out, has a man, and it is caught at the goal line. Touchdown, Bowman on the reception, 48 yards in the air. There were 4 defenders for the Cougars down there, and they allow him to catch the football at the goal line and score.
And the problem is, I mean, that ball's hanging up in the air, but nobody makes a play on the ball. You know, you got 4 guys back there. You always teach your secondary guys. There's some call, I'm sure, that Sholo has, that the guy calls who's going after the ball. Nobody makes the call, and they just let Bowman. I mean, he doesn't even go up for it. He just sat there and let it come into his stomach, and he took care of it. And 4th down and 20, and they cannot. Easy opportunity to stop that drive, and instead it turns out to be 6.
Well, if Coach Reisdorf was upset in the first half, he will definitely be upset here as the Queen Creek Bulldogs tack on the point after try and go up by 4 touchdowns, 35-10. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, I don't know why I always want to call you Coach.
You can call me Coach.
I'm not calling you Coach. Camden, yeah, if the listeners missed the halftime interview with Coach Reisdorf coming off, he actually told me, he said, let me take a second to compose myself before you ask me the question. And I asked him, I said, what do you want to tell your team at halftime? And he said, and I quote, we can't give up a first down on 4th and 10. He said, that's just ridiculous. Well, that was 4th and 20, so I can't imagine what he's going to say at the end of the game to his team now.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun to be in the Cougar locker room after this game unless they can come up with some big points here. And with 10 minutes and 28 seconds left to play here in the 3rd, the Queen Creek Bulldogs take the opening possession of the 3rd quarter and drive it on a short field. They took over this possession, I believe, on their 41 after a penalty. An unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Cougars. That was their first mistake. And then they allow the Bulldogs, after pinning them back 4th and 20, back at the Cougar 48. They had them where they wanted them, but they give up the touchdown throw, the home run throw from Dobbs to, I forget the receiver now, but on the ensuing kickoff, Bowman on the reception for the touchdown, and it is 35-10. The Cougars take the ensuing kickoff. They catch it at the goal line, but they step on the end line, and so it'll be an 80-yard field for them as they mark it out at the 20. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Slot lines up on the right side.
Clark left.
And Clark is wide left, and they've got 2 defenders over him. Reisdorf is in the gun. Take the snap. And
ball's loose.
He loses the handle on the exchange. He handed it off to Willie Wyatt, but Wyatt didn't know that he was supposed to take it. Wyatt didn't even look at the ball, and it fell to the turf. Reisdorf covers it up. Let's go downstairs and check in with, is it Ron?
Yeah, Ron.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, just a quick comment. Reisdorf is checking to his dad on the sidelines whenever he's in, and so there's a little bit of a communication, but Coach Reisdorf is telling young Reisdorf to check with me before you run the play because he's looking at the defense and calling an audible if it need to be.
Okay, that's good to know. And a big hole opens up here, or rather Willie Wyatt makes some yardage after contact again, sheds some tackles back at the 18 and gets out to the 25. Where they will pick up a good yardage on that play and have a manageable 3rd and 5.
It's almost like, you know, the Cougars forgot about Willie Wyatt And they're like, oh yeah, we have this running back who had good yardage in the first half. We haven't given him the ball in a very long time.
I think they're just trying not to be one-dimensional with him, but at the moment, why not? Clark in the gun this time, rolling right, fires, and it's incomplete. No, caught.
Wow.
Caught by Means, and Means picks up a Lacey Weeks and Supreme Lending first down at the Show Low Cougar 37-yard line.
Well, the problem is we didn't see Means over there. All we saw was Curry, but Means was farther down the field, and good thing he was, because he's able to pick up the first down yardage. But a lot of pressure being put on Clark, and he's able to step up and still make that throw.
Couple wide receivers come here to the near side. It's Curry and Means. Clark is in the gun. Clark looking to throw, has a man, and it is caught at the 41-yard line.
That must be Fawcett over there as he's motioned over to that far side. You know, the Cougars, not a lot of...
No, it's Brewer.
Excuse me, Brewer. Not a ton of weapons this year. Somebody's got to step up and assert themselves besides Clark and Wyatt for these Cougars start making some big plays.
Second down and 7. We do notice that Clark has what appears to be some tape on his left hand. Sets a man in motion. That's Fawcett out of the backfield and out of the formation. Throw to Fawcett on the far side. Caught, spins, gets away from a tackle at the 45, and he gets loose to the 48-yard line, where it'll be a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down. Let's go to Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, thanks, Cam. It's just a scoring update from down the road in Snowflake, where they're taking on Seton Catholic. At the end of the third quarter, it is 20 Seton Catholic and 14 for the Snowflake Lobos.
All right, that's an interesting score from there, as Snowflake showing to be one of the tougher teams in Division IV this year. And Clark trying to sweep left side, can't get around the edge, and Corey looks like he may be hurt, comes off limping.
Well, he's the one that came back and picked up a good block for Quentin Clark, but I think not knees with the pursuing defender, and so he'll probably have to come out for just a little bit. Just got to walk that one off. But, you know, they can bring Brewer in to replace him.
Garrett Means along with Brewer wide to the right side of the formation. Wide right, slot right, single man in the backfield is Wyatt. Hand to him at the 50. He gets across midfield and knocked down at the 44-yard, called the 46-yard line. Bulldog 46-yard line, 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, I guess it is 3rd down and 6. But boy, what a great luxury when you can pick up 5 on that play. Neville has to come in from the backside, so good hole, good surge by the line, able to give Wyatt something to keep this Bulldog defense from teeing off on Clark.
Man in motion across the formation is Fawcett. Give it to Wyatt, has a hole. 40,
he's gone.
35, 30, 25, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Sholo! As they are able to score it on a wide open hole that time. They go 46 yards as Wyatt picks up the score.
Well, you know, we've been talking about it. We've been calling for it all night, Camden. Give the ball to Wyatt. He just runs with a purpose. North-south runner, all those cliches you want to talk about, but also credit the hole that time. And they caught Queen Creek in a pass defense. They were expecting pass on 3rd down. They run the draw, and Wyatt has the hole, gets rid of one tackler at the line of scrimmage, and then there's nobody left in the secondary.
And Means punches the extra point through, and the Cougars back in business, cut it to a 3-possession game, 35-17 with 7:19 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. We'll keep it here. It is an opportunity for us to talk about the White Mountain Youth Productions. Kids from Sholo High School tonight doing a terrific job producing our video feed that you can watch right now online at italk1067.com, or you can watch it next week on City 4 TV. If you have digital cable, you can watch it on cable channel 56. Those games will be replayed Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 1:30. And we also invite you to become a sponsor of the White Mountain Sports Productions, White Mountain Youth Productions, and City 4 TV. 100% of the money is donated to the White Mountain Youth Productions Trust. That all of it goes directly to the classes in Sholo and Snowflake High School to receive an opportunity to be on City 4 TV and on our broadcast. Contact Mel West at City 4 TV. Technical director tonight, Cassidy Powell. Audio director, Kristen Fowler. Graphics, McKenna Brannon. Main cameras are Zach Perkins and Zach Davis. Our field cameras tonight, Isaiah Miller, Connor Yount, Christina Schwab, Joseph Pierce, and assistants, James Firm, Michaela Wagner, Richard Long, Allie and Cassidy Long as well. And our hats off to them week in and week out, doing a terrific job for us on the video production of our live stream at italk1067.com. Onside kick for the Cougars, but the Bulldogs cover at their 44-yard line, where they'll have another short field.
Boy, that was very close to being an excellent onside kick. Got the secondary hop. It just didn't quite get high enough to get over that next line, and a heads-up play by one of the Bulldogs coming in to take that one on the knee. Well, I tell you, Camden, you got to give the Cougars a lot of credit, because they did not quit. It would have been easy for them after that last Queen Creek score to quit, and they did not. They came back and put together a nice drive.
Well, and that's what's impressive tonight about the Cougars, is their ability to score. They've struggled offensively the last couple of weeks, but they put up some big points against this stingy defense. Barlo on the loose again. He could go 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Barlo touches it and scores it again for the Bulldogs, and that is exactly what the Cougars didn't want to see happen. 56 yards for Barlo. He has 19 carries tonight for 293 yards.
The problem is
that's just Barlo by himself.
Yeah,
19 carries, 200.
The problem is he's playing on a whole different plane. The speed at which he comes in, and you look at his strides, he has really short, quick strides, which allows him to change direction so quickly. Nobody on Sholo is there to match him with quickness or speed.
Point after try is up and good. And just like that, we're back to our halftime deficit as the Cougars score once. Or I shouldn't say halftime deficit, I should say the drive after the halftime deficit. Yeah. Cougars down by 4 scores. We'll step away, 7:08 remaining. 17, Sholo with a trailing score, trailing 42-17. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 1067 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
That's why my microphone is so...
Welcome back. Means to carry the ensuing kickoff from the 1. Has some room out at the 25, and he's knocked down at the 28. Garrett Means, big return again for the Cougars. That's one bright spot for Sholo. They have not started. I mean, every time they've been able to return a football, they've not started inside their 20.
Yeah, Honey and Rush come up and make that tackle. You had again, Means just so close to breaking that, but the Bulldogs able to just get him before he can get to that last line of defense.
We'll check in with Brandon Todd here in a second as we see Curry back in the game, wide to the right, along with Garrett Means. Tied in, lines up on the right side with a slot on the left, or rather, yeah, on the right side. They give it to Wyatt. Wyatt across the 35, and the officials blew the play dead, and you can hear the coaches asking, why did you blow that dead, as Wyatt bounced out of that tackle. But I'll tell you, that may have, with the whistle blown, who knows.
Right, yeah, the Bulldogs had stood him up and they had quit. And after the whistle blew, and Wyatt did not.
Let's go to Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, hey, guys, that was a really quick whistle, but I want to touch on that last run by Barlow, the 60-something yard run. I was sitting right next to Coach Reisdorf, and go ahead and make this play call, and I'll finish.
Well, a big jump that time as Wyatt leaps over the pile and tries to get to that first down marker. He'll be a yard shy, but a great effort, Brandon.
Yeah, so I was standing pretty close to Coach Reisdorf, and as soon as you could tell that no one's going to catch Barlo, he just threw his hands up on his head and stood there with the look of like, what can we do? Camden?
Thanks, Brandon, and that's a good question. What can they do? As they go straight ahead this time, and there's nothing for Wyatt this time as the Bulldogs bring everybody on that play, and they'll lose a yard back to the Cougar 38.
Well, they didn't get much on that, but it could really set up something big here. They could run the same type of play, maybe run a little play action right here and get something quick out here to Fawcett and maybe pick up a first down sneakily.
Fawcett's lined up in the slot. Rather, that's Brewer, I think. They hand it to Wyatt. Wyatt hit at the 40, spins, has a first down. Wyatt on second effort gets to the 41-yard line and has a Mountain Comfort heating and cooling first down.
Well, they better not complain about the lack of the whistle on that one, because that was Wyatt paid the price on that one. They didn't blow it. They let him continue to play, and he got hammered as Bulldogs like, well, you don't want to blow the whistle.
But he also got an extra yard out of it, too.
He did. He got the first down.
Fresh set of downs for the Cougars at the 41. Call it the 40. Clark hands it off straight ahead. Wyatt again, this time dumped backwards after he hits the line of scrimmage. Excuse me, it's Fawcett on the carry this time, and Fawcett is going to give nothing on the carry.
Plemai on the tackle for the Bulldogs. He's been in that backfield quite a bit tonight, but you know, Fawcett probably goes backwards a little bit easier than Wyatt does.
Willie Wyatt, 15 carries, 118 yards tonight, and 1 touchdown in the running for our Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game. Clark throws here near side to Brewer, and that's going to be pass interference as he had the defender rather draped all over him as he catches the pass.
Yeah, great concentration by Brewer that time. You know, I think the defender that time was going to make a play on the ball, but Brewer does a nice job of stepping in front of him. So not only does he catch it, but he catches the defender coming to the ball and picks up the pass interference. I think they will tack this on. No, if they're going to go back to the original stop, they'll take the 10-yard penalty instead of the 8-yard completion. Is that, or is it a 15? A 15-yard penalty instead of the 8-yard completion.
15-yard penalty and a first down.
I thought it was a 10-yard penalty, but
as the football will go,
they spin a little dial over there on the sideline.
Decide whether it's a 10 or a 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
First down at the Bulldog 44. Clark looking to throw, in trouble, flush, now steps up, hit at the 50, knocked down. He's able to get back to the 47, call it the 49-yard line, and now the Bulldogs starting to roll over the top of Clark.
Yeah, there's been a lot of extracurricular by the Bulldogs all night there. They do some extra pushing on guys as they get up, a little hitting here and there. As the Cougars trying to set up the screen that time to Wyatt, but again, too much pressure into the backfield, and you know, just nowhere to go for Clark.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, and Sholo will pick up 15 easy yards here. Don't tell Clark it was easy though. He got pummeled after that play.
Yeah, and I think the offending party that time was Neville. He's been doing a good job defensively tonight, but just a little. They just have this little extracurricular stuff. It looks like it's almost coached because all their defensive players have that little shove after the play.
At the 33. Bulldog 33. Lacey Weeks with Supreme Lending, first down for the Cougars. 4:07 left to play, third quarter. They trail 42-17. Man in motion is Fawcett across the formation, and it will be a procedure call here. No, timeout. No, procedure call. Excuse me. Looks like the Bulldog coaching staff's coming out on the
This is the new thing, and it really bothers the heck out of me. I don't know why, but the coaches going out on the field, out to the numbers. I don't know why they're allowing that so much now. Too much watching TV, I guess. But
yeah, you've got 3 coaches over there on that Bulldog sideline that are out to the numbers.
Last week the Blue Ridge staff's doing it. The Sholo staff has been a little bit better, but yeah, not something I think should be allowed in high school football.
I don't think they care.
Let the
about
kids
your
play.
opinion, Mike.
They should. They should ask me. I should set them all straight.
Would you?
Well, probably not, but
I bet you'd tell them.
I would.
Reisdorf is in at quarterback now. He sends Fawcett out of the backfield in motion to the left to right. He throws towards Fawcett, has him, and it looks like it's a catch as they pick up about 7 yards to the Bulldog 31.
Well, that's what you call max protection. Everybody stays in to protect Fawcett, as I believe Clark is not in the game. He's being attended to. And one man in the pattern, and it's a timing pattern. You roll out Reisdorf, you get Fawcett going up a certain amount of yards, coming back to the ball. Pretty safe pass play for Reisdorf.
Reisdorf sets a trips formation and a bunch set to the left side of the line.
Now we're going to do the same
Motions
thing.
out Fawcett, rolls left, fires, this time to Means, and it is incomplete. He led Means just a little too much that time, and the defensive player also hit him as he caught it, and it falls incomplete.
Looks like Clark's going to come back into the ball game. Tough throw though for the sophomore, rolling to his left. Can't find Means. I can't quite connect. Wouldn't have been enough for the first down, I don't believe. Means though, maybe could have done something, but big play here, third down. You bring Clark back in. It's a passing situation. Coach Reisdorf didn't like his personnel though. He's gonna call a timeout.
We'll take one with him. 3:43 left to play, third quarter. It's the Bulldogs 42, Cougars 17. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
My friend Alex was diagnosed with cancer. So I put on a concert with tons of other kids so they could help raise money and lift his spirits.
It's a very good feeling to volunteer.
Kids can really make a difference.
Helping other people in my community.
To do something bigger than myself.
Start at a young age and keep promoting the spirit of volunteerism as you go throughout your life.
Young students make a big difference when they volunteer. Encourage them to learn more about the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards. Visit spirit.prudential.com.
My friend Alex was diagnosed with cancer.
Cougars trailing 42-17 with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Facing a 3rd down and 8, call it 3rd and 9. Brewer in motion across the formation. The snap to Clark. He mishandles it, has to fall on it, and that'll bring up 4th down. But we'll go back to an earlier comment, Mike, where you mentioned the fact that the coaches come out to the numbers now and don't seem to get called on it. Brandon seems to have an opinion on that. Brandon?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, Mike, because as long as the coaches are off the field by the time the ball is snapped. Listen, I'm on the field right now. It's loud out here. You got the wind blowing. Right. You got both bands on both sides. You have fans. It's a loud atmosphere down here on the field. And when you're trying to yell something on your players, an extra 20 yards onto the field helps as long as you're off the field before the ball snaps. I don't see it. Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
And that last part about getting off the field before the ball snaps is pretty big. I've seen coaches, though, especially last week, stay on the field forever. They're going for it, by the way. They're going to
4th down and 12. Reisdorf to throw towards Clark in double coverage, and it's incomplete. And now one of the Bulldog players, John at Clark, and you don't like to see that.
Well, the problem is everybody in the stadium knew that ball was going to Clark. He was double covered, as you said, and that's just that's a tall order for Reisdorf to make that throw. It has to be perfect. You have to have a great timing on the pattern. I don't know how much they've been able to work on that in practice. Tough play all around.
Well, it's easy to play armchair quarterback, but the Bulldogs get the football at their 35. Handed off to Barlo. Barlo straight ahead, and he's knocked down at the 40.
Wow, and the intensity just on that first play, the intensity level from the defense of the Sholo Cougars really seems a little more flat, and maybe Brandon can comment on that in a little bit, but it just really seems like they may be at the end of their rope.
Down 42-17 with 2:26 remaining here in the third. 2nd and 6. from their 39. Bulldogs 39. Quick throw near side, caught. Ballman slips a tackle at the 40, gets out to the 45, close to a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down.
Well, good pursuit that time by Brown and Barton. Showing some intensity that I talked about might have been lacking that last time, but they do a good job of coming and getting something as Barlo, the receiver making the first guy miss.
Check in with Ron Everingham here in just a second, but a 3rd down and 1. This could be a big opportunity for the Cougars here to hold.
Yeah, get the ball back with some decent field position.
We'll see if they recognize the situation.
Well, I got to believe it's going to Barlo.
3-man front on 3rd and 1. And they go straight ahead. Barlo slips through goes to the secondary. He's on to the races. Foot race, far side. He's going to score. Barlo, easy touchdown for him. He goes 56 yards for the touchdown with 1:16 left to play in the 3rd.
Well, we see the difference in, the skill level. These are just two differently matched teams tonight, unfortunately, Camden. We saw on the previous Sholo possession, everybody knew the ball was going to Clark to try to pick up the first down. The Cougars can't do it. I have to believe everybody knew the ball was going to Barlo on 3rd and 1. They give it to him. Not only does he pick up the 1, but 50-something more. And that's just a huge difference in these two teams in their execution. Not to mention, how many times have we seen Barlo out there running, and Bowman always seems to be out there to provide. He put Garrett Means on his backside, and Barlo was just off the races after that.
49-17 with 1:16 left to play in the 3rd quarter. We'll keep it here and go downstairs and check in with Ron Everingham. Ron?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for Mike. Mike, when you're coaching basketball, do you stay in that coach's box?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely not. I just got done talking with.
They've expanded it.
I just got done talking with Dan Wiring, and he said this is his crew. And, of course, he says by the letter of the law, they're not to go on the field. But he tells his guys that as long as the coaches are coaching and they're back off the field by the time that the play starts, he doesn't have a problem with it as long as they're coaching.
Well, and that's probably...
They don't tell me that. I don't know.
They don't give you any warnings at all. Barlo tonight, 21 carries, 353 yards, and 6 touchdowns. How about those numbers?
That's I can't call it padding his stats because the Cougars are a good team, but boy, that's sure going to add to him, and I'm sure going to make some people stand up and take notice of this young man. I'm sure he'll get Player of the Year considerations. He's going to play some tough teams down the road, and we'll see how he does against those teams.
Barlo came into tonight with 41 carries, 274 yards. He's bested that number by a whole bunch. End over end kick, fielded by Means at the 10, 15, 20. Slips the tackle at the 20, gets out to the 25 before he's finally brought down and snowed under. A minute 10 left to play in the 3rd. Cougars down 49-17. We go back to the opening half. This game was a much different ball game in the first half. The Cougars had a much better defense. It appeared either that or the Bulldogs just weren't playing the way that they can.
It seemed that the Bulldogs got a little shocked early on that they didn't come ready to play. They weren't executing, and it took a little wake up. When Sholo took that lead, 10-7. I think that woke up the Bulldogs.
Clark looking to throw. Looks downfield, now comes underneath to his second option, which is Means. Means has a defender draped all over him, makes the catch at the 30, and it'll be another, looks like pass interference call against the Bulldogs.
Tyler Northcutt on the call that time, and these guys, they again watch too much TV. He's got his hands up like, what? He was, if Means was Superman, Northcutt was his cape. And easy call for the officials on that one. So just a 4-yard pickup. Take the 10 yards and the automatic first down.
So the Cougars out to the 35. That's the impressive thing tonight, though, for the Cougars. They've been able to move the football against a defense that didn't allow a touchdown in their first 2 games of the season. Handed off to Wyatt. Wyatt across the line of scrimmage, but not much else.
Well, the Bulldogs are getting a little more stingy on the ground. But also, Camden, you talked about the Cougars' offense not able to put too much together in their first 2 games. So obviously a focal point of practice this week was that offensive execution. And, you know, they've only put up 17. That's only 3 scores. But this is a very good team. And they've been able to do it, you know, by executing pretty well at certain times.
2 receivers near side, single receiver to the right. Man in motion out of the formation. Clark in trouble, gets around 1 tackle and throws it towards Brewer. Brewer dives to make the catch at the 35, but it's incomplete. Bowman back there, one of the Bulldogs, giving Clark the Clark chase.
Bowman and Pilmai both back there. I mean, Clark, excellent job. I mean, by the end of the season, this Cougar offense could be a lot different. You know, Clark's going to get a lot more experience. His learning curve, I'm sure, is going to be really high. He's a great athlete. He's been doing this for a long time. And I think you're going to see a different Sholo offense here in a couple weeks after they get a lot more practice time and get some confidence for Quentin Clark.
Well, they certainly have some bright spots and some things to build on as we start league play next week. It's going to be interesting. I guess we're 2 weeks away from league play, but Clark mishandles the snap, and it goes over his shoulder, and he'll have to fall on it back at the 25. Man, we've seen that several times tonight.
That's, you know, we don't talk too much about the long snapper, but in the Sholo offense, you got to have somebody who puts it on the money. And a couple of miscues tonight. That one, though, got to be on Quentin Clark.
Yeah, I think they've had opportunities that have been wasted there, at least from my impression. I'm not sure if it's been the long snapper tonight. I think it's just been some mishandled snaps. We'll step away at the end of the 3rd quarter. It is the Bulldogs 49, the Cougars 17. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com. The Cougars trail 49-17. The score not really indicative to how this game really has gone, though. It's been big plays and really one player that have cost Sholo big here tonight. On 4th down, they'll be forced to punt this away as we start the 4th quarter. And Means angles it out of bounds at midfield, and it'll go out at the Cougar 42.
Yeah, that's just pouring some salt on the wound right there when you make a punt like that. You know, you're trying to find some positives right here, try to keep your spirits up, and then you give the ball back to Queen Creek in your own territory. That's a tough one, and you know, I don't know how much longer Barlo will play. He's amassed running yards for 2 games already, and we still got a quarter left.
Dobbs under center from the Cougar 46-yard line. They hand it off straight ahead, and not much doing there as they pick up 2 yards on 1st down, brings up 2nd and 8.
Well, they gave it to the up man this time. They gave it to Brown, and he's able to pick up a few yards just based on the fact that it hit quick. You know, to get there before everybody closes up their hole. And we have a scoring update from Blue Ridge that we believe they've won 38-12 over Chinley.
So the Jackets picking up their first win of the season. And we got a Snowflake Seton score.
23-14, probably about the end of the third quarter. I'm sure that game started about ours. So 23-14.
In the fourth quarter. So
Seton Catholic, you know, you kind of watched their first few games. They beat Estrella Foothills and, you know, played some tough teams and picked up W's. So we knew they were going to be tough.
On second down and short now. Throw to Bowman, caught at the 40. And he's going to be hung on to by Means. Means grabbed a foot and hung on for the ride, but not before Bowman's able to pick up a first down for Queen Creek.
And it's really that offsides that cost them. John Larson in there on the tackle as well, but that offsides made it a short yardage situation and possibly could have given the Cougars, an opportunity to hold.
Brian Hanlon has been our on-site producer tonight. He'll get a chance at some play-by-play coming up here in a moment as Barlo spins out of a tackle, carries a couple tacklers with him out to the 23-yard line, and has a Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending first down.
If nothing else, you know, you can, as a coach, you can take a look at Barlow's running style and use that to help coach your own kids. Short stride, I mean, it's always, those feet are always moving, yeah. Not taking long strides, very powerful short strides, able to spin, move laterally very quickly, and, you know, make guys miss. And that's been the story of the game tonight, not to mention just raw speed.
From the Cougar 23, they go with a trip set wide right. Single set to the near sideline, and Dobbs steps back in the gun. He'll pitch it to Barlo. Barlo sweeping right, hammered to the ground at the 22. Jason Brown has his number that time.
Jason Brown kind of coming out of nowhere. You know, not a guy who played last year on the varsity, but he's done a very good job both offensively and defensively tonight, and that time just really brought the wood.
Let's go to Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Hey, yeah, just something interesting to I just noticed. Every coach of the Show Cougars is on the field. That includes the ones that were up in the box. There's not one coach that has any gear on, no headsets.
They're done.
They're all folding their arms and biting their nails. I mean, obviously the score is out of reach, but it was just interesting to see. It's the start of the fourth quarter, and all the coaches are out of the press box.
All right, thanks, Brandon. As Dobbs goes under center this time, hands to Barlo. Barlo leaps over a would-be tackler at the 20 and gets to the 23, or call it inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Well, you know, this is unfamiliar territory for the Show Cougars over the last, I don't know how many years, 8 years or so, you know, where they are on the, not just on the losing end of 3 games in a row, but, I mean, getting hammered pretty hard, and it's got to be pretty demoralizing coming off of a team that was, you know, state champion caliber team coming in this season. Of course, you could say the same for the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, but it's going to be tough for the coaching staff to keep the mentality, the focus, and the morale up for the Show Cougars.
Meanwhile, Bowman catches a pass for a Mountain Comfort Heating and Cooling first down. Means knocks him down at the 5 as he catches it. So a first and goal from the 5 for the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs yet to let up on the gas pedal as they lead it 49-17 and have a chance to tack on 7 more here. Just 8 minutes remaining in the fourth. Clock approaching the 8-minute mark, I should say.
Well, I'll wait. Go ahead.
Wide receiver right and a wide receiver to the left. I believe it's Bowman wide right. Handed off straight ahead. Chandler Brown spins at the 4 and keeps his feet driving as he carries a tackler with him to the 1.
Well, good tackle there by Webb to keep Brown out of the end zone. But one thing that has impressed me, though, about Queen Creek in this day and age when the high-powered offense and the pistol and all this, and you got a lot of stuff coming out of shotgun, you know, Queen Creek is kind of old school. Dobbs gets in there in the center. He takes a straight drop. They form up a pocket around him. They can run. They can pass. They're a well-rounded team.
I set behind Dobbs. First man through is Chandler Brown. They give to him. He keeps his feet running and gets into the end zone. Pushes the pile forward, and a 1-yard carry to cap off the drive for the Bulldogs. With 7:24 left to play fourth, they go up 55-17, 56-17, pending the extra point.
Well, somebody else, but not with the name Barlo, gets in the end zone. I guess Bowman has a touchdown too, but
spreading it around a little bit now are the Queen Creek Bulldogs. And yeah, Sholo does not look real interested in this one on the defensive side anymore.
Point after try coming up here for the Bulldogs. Good snap. Kicks up, and it's good. 7:24 left in the fourth, and the Bulldogs lead it 56-17. We'll step away. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Mom! It's an emergency. What do you do? When in doubt, dial it out. 911. Don't hesitate. Just make the call. 911 will help you with the rest. Seconds count, so dial it out. 911. Not sure what to do? It's okay. All you need to do is call. 911 will help determine what to do next. Remember, when in doubt, dial it out.
Sholo High School, the Cougars trailing 56-17, and we welcome aboard Brian Hanlon to the broadcast. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So Brian's been biding his time up here, waiting for mic time as the Bulldogs will get a deep kick. Means receives it at the goal line, steps in the end zone. It'll be an 80-yard field for the Cougars. And Brian, tell us a little bit about why you're interested in doing this type of stuff.
Well, at Snowflake High School, I'm involved in our media class, and I enjoy doing a lot of things with film and production. Personally, I enjoy being talent and being on screen, on audio, just being there as the attention. And I really want to pursue acting, and I thought this would be a good way to get involved.
Well, it is good resume piece for you. So Cougars handle Wyatt this time. He gets pounded in the backfield. So Brian, we're going to let you do a little bit of play-by-play. So no pressure or anything, but don't make any mistakes.
All right, I'll do my best.
Just kidding. You can make some mistakes. Go ahead. Yeah, you can send it to Brandon if you don't know what to say.
Let's send it to Brandon.
Start with this. Ball spotted at the 20. Go ahead.
Okay, so the ball's here at the 20. The Queen Creek Bulldogs are getting ready. They're charging. And there you go. Sholo throws it for an incomplete. Interception.
Quentin Clark back there at quarterback. He gets hammered. He's hurt. He pulls his helmet off. And he doesn't look good. He'll come off here on the near sideline, but he got ripped in the backfield as he threw that one. We'll check in with Brandon here in a second.
So Clark came off the sideline, and he's being replaced by Reisdorf to take his spot. It looks like Clark got winded, and Sholo makes the snap, tries to drive through the middle, and Fawcett gets through a couple of defenders, but then tackled by Bowman.
Close to a first down that time as Jerem Fawcett finds a nice little hole, and he does get the first down. A Lacey Wicks at Supreme Lending first down at the Sholo Cougar 30-yard line. Cougars will send a wide receiver to the far side of the set. That's Corey, along with Garrett Means. So two receivers to the left. They hand it off, and it's Fawcett again, and Fawcett carries off tackle this time to the 35. Chandler Brown on the tackle. They'll spot him back at the 34. He picks up 4 yards on first down. It'll be second down and 6 coming up. Reisdorf will get the play in.
Sholo ready for the snap. snap it. They do line drive. Fawcett carries it into the middle and then gets tackled.
Fawcett out across the 35 out to the 37 that time. And then we see Reisdorf will come over here to the near sideline and get some instructions from his dad, head coach Randy Reisdorf. Sends Rhett Reisdorf back on with the play now. Clark still out here on the near sideline.
Some flags are called on, and then there's a penalty for the Show Cougars.
Had the whole left side of the line that time coming off the ball early. Looked like Terrence Bridges was going to pull on the play. He stepped backwards, and that's what drew the penalty markers. So again, they send 2 receivers out to the left. Slot lines up on the left side of the line. He comes in motion towards the formation now, across the formation. Reisdorf looking to throw, play action. Near side, and Brown gets hit out of bounds and knocked down on the track here. That was a late hit. Let's check in with Brandon Todd. Brandon?
Yeah, I don't care what Mike Caldwell's saying in my other ear right now. That was a bad call. That ball was thrown out of bounds, obviously uncatchable, and the Queen Creek defender threw a pretty big push. I'd say a good 4 yards out of bounds, and then well, I don't care if it's football. He was
covering him out of bounds.
We had too many people talking in the ears. I lost my train of thought, guys. It's back up to you.
Thanks, Brandon. It was a good point, Brandon. We appreciate it. What you can't hear is there's like 5 guys telling Brandon that it was a good no call, and Brandon couldn't handle it. So 4th down, and the Cougars set to punt, but they're forced to burn a timeout. We'll take one with them. 4:40 left to play in the 4th. The Bulldogs over the Cougars 56-17. This is Show Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Remodeling your home? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need new shingles? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Building a new deck? Want to save money? Go to Case Supply. Need siding? Want to save money? Yep, Case Supply saves you money on siding too. Case Supply has the best prices and the best selection on roofing, siding, decking, windows, and doors. Even better than the big box stores. So the next time you want to save money, see Case Supply in Taylor, Pine Top, and now across from the Dairy Queen in Show Low.
Back to Show Low High School. Cougars going to go for it on 4th down. Try a hook and ladder and a pitch. Brewer caught the initial pass, was hit.
And there's the kick. It's a low line
to Jerem Fawcett, and Fawcett couldn't come up with it. Brewer threw it in the ground. Fawcett tries to field it on a short hop at the 25, and so the Bulldogs will take over on downs at the Cougar 25-yard line. And Brian, good job. That was a good first effort.
Thank you.
We'll have you come on later, okay?
Okay, thanks.
So the Bulldogs with 4:34 left to play in the 4th, 56-17. The Show Low Cougars give up great field position here.
At least Barlow's not in.
Yeah, Barlow's out. That's good news. New quarterback as well. It's Zane Wiley.
Oh, no. No way.
Handed off straight up the gut, and he outran his own feet. Jordan Bartlett scores it from 24 yards out.
This is the problem that Show Low faces right now is you can't, if you're going to be a championship caliber team, it's a lot about attitude, and they're kind of giving up a little bit, and that's not the attitude that they need to have if they want to try to get back into contention into things. But man, just hitting the hole hard, and
I mean, Queen Creek, on the other hand, even though they got their backup guys in and they're ready to play, they're ready to get after it, they get their opportunity, and they're taking advantage.
Well, and I think they're taking advantage of a very tired Sholo Cougar defense. And Fawcett just got hammered by Garrett Means as those two players collide. And Fawcett is hurt on the point after try. Fawcett coming from the left defensive side and Means coming from the right defensive side, both of them going for a block. Fawcett diving in midair ran directly into the helmet of Garrett Means, but it looks like Fawcett's going to be okay. We'll keep it here with 4:25 left to play in the fourth. It is the Bulldogs up 63-17, but Mike, I don't think anybody's going to look at this score and realize how close the Cougars were to being in this contest.
Well, they were in the first half, but really the second half, they have been able to put a score on the board, but really they have been dominated in the second half quite a bit. But, but a lot of it is Sholo mistakes. And so the good news is if you can make those corrections, you can certainly change some outcomes. And that's going to be a big thing for the Cougars to try to do. Queen Creek, you figure 4 minutes, they're going to just try to run the clock out. Well, they did. They brought in their subs. But the effort's just not there from Sholo right now.
Bulldogs show onside formation and then break out into their typical kick formation as the Cougar front five show an onside protect mode. And then they spread out, and the kickoff is going to be fielded by Brewer at the 5 to the 10, 15, 20. Hit at the 24, carries a tackler with him across the 25 out to the 28-yard line. Good carry that time. Good return by Brewer out to the 29.
Well, and you always have guys who just never give up regardless. They could be 100-0. And I think Jace Brewer is probably one of those guys. He and Willie Wyatt, some guys that I think Coach Reisdorf's going to have to lean on, even though they're not seniors, but he's going to have to lean on them as emotional leaders for this team, because football's a lot about emotion. And if you can keep the emotions up, teams who shouldn't win can still win.
Two receivers near side. It's Means and Corey. Slot lines up on the right side. Now they motion Wyatt out of the backfield. Reisdorf looking to throw on first down. Throws it into double coverage. Means hit. And it looks like Gishi was the defender, and Means took Gishi out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how he got hurt. He made a great play on the ball, did a good job breaking it up, but maybe landed a little weird. Maybe got a knee or something, but the helmet's off. He's in trouble.
I don't think I've ever seen a defender take a lick from the receiver like that.
Well, Means already took out Fawcett.
Yeah.
Now he took out.
And I'll tell you, the sportsmanship of Means stood there. I mean, he was seriously concerned about him. Now Means heads back to the huddle, and looks like Gishi's okay. He's going to come off on his own.
But I tell you what, Reisdorf on that last play can and taking a lot of pressure, gets it off, and I'll tell you, it would have been an incredible completion. It means able to hold on to that one. Reisdorf did what he could.
Two receivers to the right, double slot set this time. They set Brewer in motion near side, across the formation, left to right, throw to him, and he's hammered at the 33-yard line as he picks up the catch. Actually, it's Jerem Fawcett that gets hammered that time. Travis Moore brings the wood and puts a lick on Fawcett after he makes the catch, but he hangs on to it.
Well, I tell you, that's a lot of toughness. Fawcett was just injured from his own player, came back out, but you could just see that one coming as the Bulldog defender was coming, and that ball was in the air for so long. You just knew Fawcett was going to take a beating on that one.
Tight end right. Fawcett lines up in the slot on the left side. They hand it off to to Wyatt. Wyatt lowers his shoulder and bangs his way to the 5. The 35, I should say.
Well, fourth down. The clock's going to continue to run here as our score has gotten beyond the whatever the number is. But, looks like the Cougars are going to go for it here. I guess at this point, what the heck, right? Practice more offense.
2:51 remaining, clock rolling, 2 receivers left. On 4th down and 4, they hand to Wyatt. Wyatt leaps over a defender, gets the first down out to the 40-yard line. And you just have to be impressed with what Willie Wyatt has done tonight, carrying the football for the Cougars.
Over 120 yards rushing. That's a good night. Unfortunately, it's going to get eclipsed by what Barlo did, but a good job. And, you know, the last carry, I thought he looked a little tentative, but not that time. He kind of found that extra gear that time and was able to pick up those tough yards for the first down.
Lacey Weeks at Supreme Lending, first down for the Cougars. Reisdorf, they go with a counter, give it to Fawcett. Fawcett banging his way and carrying some tacklers across midfield. How about that? First down, Cougars.
Make some of those subs, rethink about whether or not they really want to be in the ball game, as he just absolutely ran over Zane Whiting that time as Whiting came up to try to make the tackle, and Fawcett still playing hard. And that's what you're looking for at this point if you're the Show Low Cougars. Guys who are playing hard.
Reisdorf hands to Wyatt again. He goes off guard left side, and Wyatt picks up good yardage on first down. Has 3, maybe 4, call it 4 yards on first. 2nd and 6 coming up as he gets the ball to the Bulldog 45.
Lots of substitutions on the Bulldog side of things. Chandler Brown making the tackle, but this is the second string. But boy, this is critical for them to get some playing time as well, as the Bulldogs look to continue their season.
Reisdorf looking to throw, throws across the middle, and is caught by Corey for a first down at the Bulldog 30.
We saw right there, Reisdorf has that little more intentionality right there, a little more quickness coming out of him, able to just take a quick drop, throw it, knew where Corey was going to be, and concentration by Corey because he had a defender all over him there as well. So perhaps a moral victory here.
Division III school are the Queen Creek Bulldogs. Playing up a division tonight are the Cougars, and a botched handoff. Wyatt lost the handle on it and still able to pick up a couple of yards on the carry.
Well, we'll see if they decide to go for it here, as Wyatt is explaining to Reisdorf, I need you to give it to me like this. You know, if Reisdorf can take the reins here, it's really a benefit to the Cougars because you get Quentin Clark out in a role he's a little more comfortable with.
Well, and Reisdorf is no slouch. I mean, he throws a good ball. We've seen him make some good passes. That one wasn't.
That was an intentional bad pass.
Was it?
Yeah, because he knew if Wyatt caught that, he was going to.
He was in trouble, so he just threw it behind him.
Yeah, he just let's just take the incomplete and we'll try again.
29 seconds left to play in the game. It is the Bulldogs up 63-17. Don't forget.
Well, who decided to stop the clock now? The score hasn't changed.
Our post game. That's right. We're over 42 points, right?
Yeah, but it had been running.
Should have been a running clock.
It had been running.
Well, they wanted it. It looks like they want to see if the Cougars can score.
Home team gets to make their own rules, I guess.
Reisdorf looking to throw. You're going to get calls.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Curry's open at the goal line. Caught, touchdown. Reisdorf to Curry.
And a late hit.
A touchdown and a penalty marker thrown back at the 42-yard line, called the 41 in the Cougar backfield. This is going to be a roughing the passer call. The Cougars are going to get another touchdown.
Wait, let's hold the phones here because the officials were talking to Sholo's side. Yep.
Roughing the passer.
Yeah, roughing the passer. Okay. Hey, see, I'm telling you, Reisdorf could end up taking the job and allowing him to have another target to throw to and run, giving it to Quentin Clark.
That was a good throw.
That was right on the money, and a good but Corey running a good route as well, able to get behind the secondary, and this is where Queen Creek's going to get a little coaching because that was, I'm sure, not how they wanted to finish the game.
Point after try is good with 23 seconds left in the game. Means puts it through the uprights and makes the score. Bulldogs 63, Cougars 24. We'll keep it here as we remind you that tonight's contest is available online at italk1067.com. You can watch it live now, and immediately following the contest, you can watch the full game. It'll be uploaded on our website at any time. during the coming week. You can watch it on the homepage. Plus, click on the archive games. You can see all the games we've done this year and last year.
Yeah, because we are in mid-season form now.
I'll tell you what, we've got almost all of the technical problems worked out, except for about 20 or 30 that we have to deal with tonight. So those are going to go on the list, and we'll get those figured out. And then next week there'll only be 12.
Onside kick coming up right here for Sholo.
I think they should onside it because you get the instead of kicking from their 40, they're going to kick from the Bulldog 45 because of the roughing the passer call, which is assessed to the kickoff.
Well, and Means has shown the ability to. He kind of has an idea of how to do this, so I say let him practice one more time. The clock's now going to stop because we're under 42 points now.
Looks like the hands team up front for the Bulldogs. And Means set to kick it off, straps his gloves on one more time, and he kicks it deep. Kicks it deep and out of the end zone.
Well, I guess that's why I'm up here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I like the idea of an onside too, Mike. I'd have done the same thing.
I mean, give the fans who stuck it out a little excitement, you know, a little reward for staying put. I don't know, just a thought.
Our technical director tonight on the video broadcast has been Cassidy Powell, doing a terrific job for us back in the truck. Audio director Kristen Fowler. Graphics, McKenna Brannon. Main cameras, Zach Perkins and Zach Davis. Our field cameras, Isaiah Miller, Connor Yant, Christina Schwab, Joseph Pierce. As the Bulldogs will take a knee in the final 19 seconds, will roll off the clock. Assistants tonight, James Firm, Michaela Wagner, Richard Long, Allie and Cassidy Long as well. And don't forget, games are replayed on City 4 TV next week, Monday and Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 1:30. Help raise funds for these kids to continue to bring these contests to you. We invite you to contact Mel West at City 4 TV and help out. If you've got a business, donate some money. We'll mention your name on the radio and on the live stream of these contests for donating to City 4 TV and the White Mountain Youth Productions. That's going to wrap it up. Bulldogs victorious tonight over the Cougars. We'll be back with our post-game wrap-up show where we'll announce our Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game. Coming up next here on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
My friend Alex was diagnosed with cancer. So I put on a concert with tons of other kids so they could help raise money and lift his spirits.
It's a very good feeling to volunteer.
Kids can really make a difference.
Helping other people in my community.
To do something bigger than myself.
Start at a young age and keep promoting the spirit of volunteerism as you go throughout your life.
Young students make a big difference when they volunteer. Encourage them to learn more about the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards. Visit spirit.prudential.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the north end of the field for the entire.
This is my town.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995. Or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
Off the 20. He's got the 25 hammered down at the 30.
Are you a sports fan and business owner? You don't want to pass this up. White Mountain Youth Productions brings you local high school sports produced by high school students.
Go deep, and it's caught. Unbelievable.
Your tax-deductible sponsorship keeps us up and running and gets you noticed. Call 928-532-4160.
And that is a touchdown for Sholo.
Welcome back. The Sholo Cougars with a tough loss tonight to the Bulldogs of Queen Creek as they get beat up tonight, but terrific effort, a outstanding effort really for the Cougars. There were a lot of football pundits that thought that the Cougars didn't even have a chance. In the first half, they hung with the Bulldogs all the way up until the final minutes of the second quarter, where the Bulldogs made it a 3-touchdown difference, and really a 3-score difference, I should say. 2 touchdowns and a field goal they trailed by, but the Cougars unfortunately unable to make up that difference. Camden Smith, Mike Side with Mike Granillo as we recap the first half for you, and with the recap, let's actually go with Punt Cooley.
Okay, so real quick, just some highlights on the stats for the game. Queen Creek, the victors tonight, racking up a total of 531 total yards of offense, 406 of that on the ground. And of that 406, Weston Barlo, the running back for Queen Creek, 370 yards in tonight's game on 24 carries, and of course 6 touchdowns for Barlo. So he was clearly the leader by a long shot. But Queen Creek also able to pass a bit tonight, going 8 for 15 for 125 yards through the air. So again, their total offense, 531 yards compared to Sholo, who actually did a very good job tonight offensively, racking up 360 yards, 153 of that on the ground, 206 through the air. And as you guys had talked about in that second half, Rhett Reisdorf able to come alive a little bit for the Cougars. He goes 8 for 15 in a backup roll for 86 yards, gets the 1 touchdown pass. And the other quarterback for Sholo for 17 to get 120 yards. So again, Sholo's total offense 359, 153 through the air, or on the ground, 206 through the air. So a very, very well-balanced offensive attack tonight for the Cougars. They actually get more first downs than Queen Creek did in the game, 17 compared to 11.
It's a little misleading.
Unfortunately, they only get 3 touchdowns to Queen Creek's 9.
Right, so that's the misleading part. Some big runs by Barton where he passed all those first downs. He got straight to the end zone, so that was a big component of that stat. But you know, tough going tonight for the Sholo Cougars. The Sholo Cougars are able to put 14 points up on the board. Do you have those scoring drives for the Sholo Cougars?
Yeah, let me get that real quick.
Because you know you got to go through about 17 different spreadsheets to find that. But they're you know, they came out to start the third quarter.
You want Sholo or?
Yeah, what Sholo did. Sholo came out, and you know, you thought maybe, just maybe, think something might happen as they take their first possession of the second half, and they get a big 46-yard touchdown run from Willie Wyatt, and you know, they're only down 11 at the half. No, I'm sorry, 18 at the half, and you thought, well, maybe we can make things interesting. And then, bang, right back. The Bulldogs come back with another huge Barlow run and kind of stop all those dreams.
Let's go downstairs. I think Brandon Todd has Coach Reisdorf. Brandon?
And I do. I have Coach Reisdorf right here. Coach, I refer back to a conversation we had earlier today. You said it's not about going 0-3. You said if we go 0-3, that's okay. It's about where you are as a team when you're 0-3. So as of right now, the team's 0-3. Where are you? How do you feel you are as a team?
You know what? I think we improved in some areas tonight from where we were, for sure. We had 20 first downs on offense. And that's against a defense that hasn't given up any points against bigger opponents than them, Division I schools, Highland, Poston Butte, you know, and Paul Morrill, so some good coaching. And so there is a bright side. I thought our kickoff return did some good things. We did some good things. It's real obvious that we've got plenty to work on, and we will continue to do that. You know, we'll just learn. You look at things, and I don't know. That's one of the best backs that I've seen. There's no question in high school football, maybe ever.
Yeah, I think the numbers were he ended up with over 300 and almost 400 yards rushing, and in your defense's defense, if that makes any sense. It's not like you guys face running backs like that every day.
No, we don't. But to have that, to give up that many yards with the athletes we have is really unexcusable. There was some plays tonight that I mean, we've got 2 corners and 3 safeties on 4th and 15 and give up a deep ball. That is ridiculous. So there's things that we are just way better than and that are unexcusable that we will get fixed.
Coach, last question. Quentin Clark took a pounding. You know, this play down here where he flipped over in the end zone, we called probably one of the best plays you'll see in high school football, definitely this year, but maybe ever that some of us have ever seen.
We're ready with Coach Sherman too.
And also, so he took a pounding. Rhett Reisdorf, your son, took a lot of snaps today. You know, a few hiccups, but threw the ball well on that last touchdown right there. He took a lick on a roughing the passer call, but made the play. Are we going to see him taking more snaps in the upcoming games and putting Quentin Clark back in the wideout role?
You know what? It didn't make it any easier tonight. Quentin is a phenomenal athlete. There's no question about it. And he simply makes plays. And plays are that was a broken play. We're on the 1-yard line. We've called trap. And I don't know if it was a bad snap. I don't know if he fumbled the snap. I'm not sure what happened. But he simply made a phenomenal play out of nothing. And there's very few kids at any level, at any team, on any team in the state that are going to make that play. And so he has to get the ball in his hands. If that's at quarterback, then it's at quarterback. And if it's at receiver and we can get him the ball, then it's at receiver. We've got a play into our hand. And to answer your question, I have no idea.
Coach, there's not one person that doubts the talent on your team. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Camden.
All right, thanks, Brandon. Let's go to Ron Everingham. Ron?
Yeah, we're down here on the field with Queen Creek head football coach, Coach Sherman. Coach, great game tonight. One of the things that we noticed having traveled so far, talk a little bit about your fans that traveled up this far. You brought your band and everybody.
Yeah, you know, that's one thing that's great about Queen Creek is we have a great fan base that does great things, and we have a great student council president this year, and he does a great job of getting kids excited to come, and kind of has a theme each week. They got a spirit bus together, and then, you know, our band and our cheerleaders, it's just awesome. They support us everywhere we go, so we sure appreciate that.
Okay, you played 2 games so far this year before tonight, Possum Butte and Highland. Your defense hadn't been scored against. You come in here into Sholo. Any team, you know, being scored on tonight?
You know, Coach Reisdorf does a great job of scheming and getting his kids in great position to make plays. And so, you know, all the credit goes to Coach Reisdorf, and those kids, you know, they never gave up. They played hard. And, you know, I think just some of the, you know, maybe traveling a little bit, coming off a bye week made it a little bit tough. But, you know, that's no discredit to Sholo because Coach Reisdorf had those kids ready.
Travel safe back up there, and thanks for coming up and visiting us. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Ron. And we'll take a quick break. Once again, the Sholo Cougars fall to the Queen Creek Bulldogs tonight. Final score, I think, was 63 to 28. 24. Correction, 24. We'll step away, back with more of our post-game comments presented by Sunrise Park Resort and our Indian Pine Restaurant. Player of the Games coming up next. This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
This is my town.
Sholo is football and party town, especially when you show up at Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate event. Even if you just got your license, show up for the lowest price and longest warranty. Brand new Fords, all with our lifetime engine warranty. Not 3 years or 6, not 10 years or 100,000 miles. No way. Our warranty is forever. Come into Sholo Ford this week. Take delivery of a new Ford or pre-owned vehicle. New 2014 Ford F-150 Super Cruise, just $30,495. New 2014 Ford Focus SE, just $19,995, or new 2014 Ford Fiestas, $13,995. Plus, every new Sholo Ford truck comes ready to tailgate with a Yeti cooler. Sholo Ford's Great American Tailgate Event. It's party time at the east end of the Deuce.
Oh, this is my town.
Bulldogs over the Cougars tonight, 63-24. Kansas Smith with Mike Reneel and Punt Cooley as we continue our Sunrise Park Resort post-game comments. Don't forget Sunrise Park Resort, expecting good snow this season. SunriseSkiPark.com. That is SunriseSkiPark.com. I believe discounts still available if you buy your season pass early at SunriseSkiPark.com. Time now for our Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store Player of the Game and our Indian Pine Restaurant Player of the Game. The Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store providing some of the best equipment for outdoor equipment, I should say. Hunting, camping, fishing, hiking, you name it, it's out there at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store on Highway 260, just south of Pine Top, just before you get to Honda on the right-hand side of the road. As always, guys, tough call for a player of the game, but there are several names on that Cougar roster that we've got to mention.
Well, you know, Mike and I were talking off air just a second ago about how well the offensive line for the Cougars did tonight. You know, not on every single play, obviously, up against a big front and that Queen Creek Bulldog defense. But they got good protection to the quarterbacks for the most part.
I mean they stemmed the tide. I mean, it wasn't always great, but they gave them the time they needed.
And they were able to break open some nice holes. You know, Willie Wyatt ends up tonight 21 carries, 136 yards, got the rushing touchdown. But I also thought the quarterback tandem, Quentin Clark and Rhett Reisdorf, you know, they combined, they go 19 for 32, 206 yards. Those are really big yards that they really needed tonight, because obviously they could not rely solely on that rushing game with Wyatt. So you got to give some props, I think, to the quarterback duo tonight.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, another guy that played pretty well for the Cougars was Jace Brewer. I mean, Absolutely. He played hard. I mean, a lot of young guys for this Cougar team, and they're going to need some experience. Jace Brewer, I thought, played really hard. You know, we probably would be. We should mention Barlo as a player of the game.
And his 370 rushing yards.
We can't give it to Barlo.
We're not going to give it to him.
How many times do you see that in your lifetime?
370 yards. Yeah, that's he only
six
played
touchdowns.
3.5 quarters.
Six touchdowns.
Yeah, that guy's going to be tough. We're going to hear. I'm sure that won't be the last that we hear from Barlo. But yeah, a lot of guys did a great job. You know who else I thought just kind of did a really good job sneakily is Jason Brown.
Yes.
He didn't get the ball much, but he played tight end all night and did a great job defensively. You know, he didn't tackle Barlow sometimes, but he still did. I thought did a very good job. So these are guys that we're going to look forward to for the look at the rest of the year and see how they do.
Well, and another player too, Jerem Fawcett, is always really steady for the Cougars. He was again tonight. Not huge numbers offensively necessarily, but he did get some key runs at key times to get first down, and he's always really steady on defense. He's not a big kid by any means, but he plays big time. You know, he goes to the whistle every play. A lot of energy out there, so I think he's certainly someone we need to mention. But I think if you're looking at me, Camden, and I know you are, I'd have to go with Willie Wyatt as my vote for player of the game. He just, you know, he's just a stud for these Cougars. Offensively tonight, he led the way on the ground game for them, where they really needed some key rushes, and he got some big rushes tonight. That big long touchdown run was a great boost to the Cougars. And then defensively, he's just an animal. You know, he always comes up big for the Cougars. So I thought overall, very, very well-rounded game for Willie Wyatt, as we would expect from him.
Hats off to Willie Wyatt, of course, adding a new dimension to the Cougar offense, I think, tonight, providing something that they haven't had in their first 2 games. Although we didn't get to see much of the game last week, but definitely in that Williamsfield game, it was something that was very absent in the Cougar offense, was the rushing game. And so Willie Wyatt providing that for the Cougars tonight, a big part of their success. Our Indian Pine Restaurant and Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store player of the game, Willie Wyatt. Congratulations to Willie Wyatt. Don't forget, you can get your outdoor gear at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, whether it's hiking, camping, hunting, or fishing. You'll find it at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. They are geared up and ready to go for winter. You can also check out their skis and snowboard packages out there at the Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, south of Pine Top on Highway 260, right-hand side of the road before you get to Honda. It's going to wrap things up for us. We go back to the studio and say special thanks to our in-studio producer tonight, Ashley Fry. On the field tonight, Brandon Todd, along with Ron Everingham, our executive producer. Upstairs, it's been Mike Caldwell, our producer extraordinaire, and our student producer. Can we get a shot of Brian? Can we get a shot of Brian Hanlon?
Wave to all the fans, Brian.
Brian Hanlon, who did a terrific job for us all night, helping us out with the production, as well as helping us out with our play-by-play tonight. Hats off to Brian Hanlon. Skip in. Yeah, cover me. That's good. No, I'm serious. That's a great angle right there. Nice job, Brian. Final score, once again, the Bulldogs over the Cougars, 63-24, as the Cougars go 0-3. 0-3
against tough talk.
Should I bring up again the combined Yellow Jackets and Cougars up until the Jackets win tonight?
Yeah, they get a win tonight. Yeah.
Now could have been 0-7, but Jackets get their first win. But it's been a long time since both those teams had 3 losses this early in the season.
Well, we talked about the Snowflake Lobos last week, how impressive they, or 2 weeks ago, how impressive they looked in their game against Mingus. But now losing to Queen Creek, and so
or Seton
Catholic, I should say. So Division 4 looking a little strange up here in the north.
Yeah, definitely something we're not used to seeing. And then everyone, Coach Tenney had mentioned during the game the other week against Mingus that Seton was a team he was kind of looking at. And then there's, again, obviously River Valley, who went to the finals last year. Have a lot of kids coming back to that football team, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Division 4 this year, because, you know, the old standard of Blue Ridge Sholo may not necessarily play out the way folks think it will.
Certainly doesn't look like it at this point, but hey, we've got a lot of football to play. We are nowhere near to the end of this season. These campaigns just starting, so we'll look forward to the games coming up next week. We've got a great game coming up for you.
Next week, Snowflake at Winslow.
Snowflake at Winslow. So we'll look forward to that. We hope that you'll tune in to iTalk 106.7 FM and online at iTalk1067.com, as well as City 4 TV, which reminds us to thank our executive producer, Mel West, and Jerry Butler for City 4 TV, and the Jerry Butler, the media director at Sholo High School. Big thanks again to the students of Sholo and Snowflake High School for the live video tonight. For Punt Cooley and Mike Greniel, I'm Camden Smith, inviting you back next week for Friday Night Football here on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. Until then, so long, everybody.